Warrior Lore. Chapter 119. Lin Feng hugged Dongfang Yue and hid in a hidden cave to rest. Not long after they had left, Ancestor Xinming, Daoyuo Jialuo, and Dao Master Haohuan arrived. Ancestor Xinming roared when he saw the dead demon corpse. The demon corpse that I painstakingly refined was destroyed. Damn it, damn it. Dao Master Haohuan quickly found Wu Xian's body in the mountain god temple. He said, Wu Xian died here. I knew that he didn't have good intentions when he saved Dongfang Yue. Now that he's dead, Dongfang Yue's injuries must have worsened. Chase. The three of them rushed out of the mountain god temple and chased after Lin Feng and Dongfang Yue. 3 days later, Dongfang Yue's injuries had mostly healed. Lin Feng, I can't stay in the wild forest for too long. Take this fairy stone. If you need anything in the future, you can come to the fairy pavilion to find me. Dongfang Yue handed a purple stone to Lin Feng. The purple stone was arranged in a square. On the front were the words, Fairy Pavilion, and on the back were the words, Dongfang Yue. This should be Dongfang Yue's keepsake in the sect. Lin Feng didn't know what kind of power the Fairy Pavilion was, but since Dongfang Yue was so strong, the Fairy Pavilion must be extraordinary as well. He put away the keepsake and said, I'll take this for now. Fairy, your injuries haven't healed yet, so you should be careful on the road. Dongfang Yue said, You be careful too. We'll meet again someday. Dongfang Yue didn't stop and quickly left. Lin Feng continued to head towards the imperial capital. Night fell. The sky was still gloomy. There was no moon or stars. The ancient and desolate forest fell into a deathly silence and darkness. Lin Feng rested on a branch of a big tree. The fire Qilin rested on a smooth rock not far away. The night was getting darker and darker. Roar. Suddenly, an earth-shaking roar tore through the night sky and resounded through the clouds. Then, a ball of divine flames soared into the sky. A terrifying beast stood in the middle of the flames. Its ferocious might spanned 100,000 kilometers. Lin Feng was startled awake. He looked into the distance and said, The beast Emperor Qiongqi wasn't killed by those experts? The beast Emperor Qiongqi was enveloped in boundless divine flames as it quickly flew above the ancient forest. It continued to roar, shattering one mountain after another. This beast emperor was too terrifying. Even though they were far apart, Lin Feng could still feel its suffocating pressure. This night was not peaceful at all. The beast Emperor Qiongqi roared the entire night. It was quiet in the forest. No ferocious beast dared to appear at this moment. It's injured. It should be a fatal injury. Lin Feng hid in the dark and saw the beast Emperor Qiongqi's injuries. There was a bloody hole in the beast emperor's chest. Clearly, it was injured by those cultivators when it was guarding the ancient cultivator's cave. The fire Qilin nodded and said, It's precisely because it suffered such severe injuries that the beast emperor, Qiongqi, became so restless and restless. It sensed danger. Are you talking about those powerful cultivators? Lin Feng asked. It's not just powerful cultivators. The beast Emperor Qiongqi's source energy is too powerful. Those cultivators who surrounded the beast Emperor Qiongqi before will probably come over. Moreover, some of the beast kings in the forest will probably be unable to hold themselves back and want to devour the beast Emperor Qiongqi's source energy to further evolve. The fire Qilin said, Okay. Lin Feng nodded. Lin Feng did not leave this place. He planned to hide here and watch this earth-shattering battle. One day later, 5 powerful cultivators appeared. Ancestor Xinming, Meruo Kaluo, Dao Master Haohuan. These 3 had been chasing after Dongfang Yue, but she had already left. Their target was the beast Emperor Qiongqi. The other 2 were probably allies. One of them was as thin as a stick. The other person only had one eye. His other eye was blind, but it did not affect his powerful strength. The 5 experts had appeared. Not long after the 5 experts appeared, another powerful existence arrived. An earth-shaking roar came from afar, and a ferocious beast flew over at high speed. It was a huge tiger with snow-white and purple patterns on its body. It was 15 to 16 meters long and 12 to 13 meters tall. Its body was covered in sharp thorns, and its tail was a dragon's tail. It also had a pair of huge fangs. Heaven-devouring tiger. Lin Feng gasped. This was actually a heaven-devouring tiger. Lin Feng had seen records of the heaven-devouring tiger in the classic of mountains and seas. The heaven-devouring tiger was a descendant of a prehistoric beast. Its bloodline was extremely powerful, and it was rumored that in ancient times, the heaven-devouring tiger could bite a god to death. From this, one could see how terrifying the heaven-devouring tiger was. Screech. A sharp screech came from another direction. A huge creature flew over. It was a ferocious bird. Its entire body was golden, and its wings were 50 to 60 meters long. It had two heads. The left head was a lion's head, and the right head was a tiger's head. This was a winged tiger-lion beast. It was also a prehistoric beast. Another one is coming. Lin Feng was shocked. Fortunately, he did not rush out just now. Otherwise, he would have collided with these two beasts. Whoosh! In the distance, demonic light soared into the sky. The third terrifying existence came. It was a demonic ape with 3 heads and 6 arms, like an ancient demon god. 3 heads and 6 arms demonic ape. Lin Feng gasped. This was a legendary beast that was rumored to be able to tear a god apart. Rumble. Suddenly, the mountain shook and the ground shook. The ground in the distance cracked open, and then a beast emerged from the ground. This was a huge scorpion that was 100 meters tall. Its long scorpion tail was more than 300 meters long. It was like the sharpest blade that could penetrate any defense in an instant. Immemorial demon scorpion. Lin Feng gasped. This was the 4th terrifying creature that had appeared. It was Lin Feng's first time seeing the immemorial demon scorpion. The immemorial demon scorpion was the king of the scorpion clan. He had only heard of this creature before. In ancient times, the immemorial demon scorpion had hunted dragons, 5 human powerhouses, 4 beast kings. All of them were here to kill the beast king Qiongqi. An unusually intense battle broke out. The sky darkened, and the sun and moon lost their light. The beast king Qiongqi suffered near-fatal injuries, but it was still powerful. This battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. The ground caved in, and the mountains collapsed. Finally, the beast king Qiongqi could not hold on any longer. It fell from the sky and crashed to the ground. Is it dead? Lin Feng looked at the motionless beast king Qiongqi on the ground in shock. Its eyes were closed, and its breathing was weak. It seemed to be on the verge of death. The 5 human powerhouses and the 4 beast kings all rushed toward the beast king Qiongqi, intending to snatch its origin source. Swoosh swoosh. The motionless beast king Qiongqi suddenly opened its eyes. Its cold gaze swept across the 4 beast kings. Then, the beast king Qiongqi suddenly burst out. It raised its huge claws and slammed them toward the 5 human powerhouses and the 4 beast kings. Bang, 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 bang. A loud noise shook the sky, and the 9 powerhouses were sent flying. Chapter 120. Qiongqi stood in the sky, looking ferocious and majestic. It had to be said that this beast emperor was really too powerful. Previously, it was besieged by more than a dozen human experts and was severely injured. Now, it was besieged by 5 human experts and 4 beast kings for such a long time. However, it was still able to display such a powerful combat strength. Damn it, it's like a lamp without oil, but it's still so strong. The dark nether ancestor furiously roared with a gloomy expression. The other 4 strong cultivators looked gloomy as well. They had all been injured, and Qiongqi might be able to kill some of them. 4 beast kings, we have to unite. Otherwise, it won't be Qiongqi who will die, it will be us, said Holy Man He Huan. You humans are so cunning. If you had used your full strength, Qiongqi would have been killed long ago. A beast king roared. Ancestor Xianming and the other 4 rolled their eyes. That beast was quite intelligent. Let's use our strongest attacks. Attack Qiongqi, we have to kill it, shouted Marwa Jalua. All right, no problem. The 9 strong cultivators agreed. Qiongqi stood in the sky, surrounded by flames. It looked like a god who had been reborn from the ashes. Roar. The beast Emperor Qiongqi's roar shook the mountains and rivers as it took the initiative to attack the 5 experts and 4 beast kings. Die! The 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings roared and charged towards the Cheong-Chi beast emperor. They had to kill the Cheong-Chi beast emperor when it was at its weakest. Otherwise, it would be impossible to kill the Cheong-Chi beast emperor. The 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings knew that very well. Boom! A terrifying shockwave swept across the sky, and a great battle broke out. The 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings joined forces to attack Cheong-Chi. The double-winged Tigan's left head spewed out thunderous energy while its right head spewed out endless thunderous energy. They were all aimed at the beast emperor Cheong-Chi. The sky-devouring tiger clawed at the air, and a 100-meter-long claw condensed and attacked Cheong-Chi. The ancient demon scorpion's tail shook violently. The barbs at the end of the tail were shining with a blue light. They were obviously poisonous. At this moment, the venomous tail stabbed towards the Cheong-Chi emperor. As long as it pierced through the Cheong-Chi emperor's body, the venom would seep into the Cheong-Chi emperor's body. At that time, the Cheong-Chi emperor would be poisoned. The 3-headed, 6-armed demonic ape also unleashed a powerful attack. Boundless demonic mist churned and condensed into a 100-meter-tall demonic ape. It roared and pounced at the Cheong-Chi beast emperor. The 4 beast kings showed their might, and each of them displayed a powerful attack that made the world lose its color. On the other side, the 5 powerhouses also unleashed their own powerful divine abilities. Ancestor Shimming Ancestor and devoured Cheong-Chi. Holy Master Hawan unleashed a terrifying sword Chi. Marawa Jalua Jalua Gio and Jujalua Juyu. The one-eyed cultivator and Gio. Jalua Juyu Gio. Jujio. Jua Jalua. Jalua Beast Juyu. The 9 top powerhouses were going to destroy the beast emperor Cheong-Chi. Cheong-Chi sensed danger, and endless demonic chi surged out of his body. The demonic chi covered the sky, and within the demonic chi, a huge, ferocious beast appeared. The ferocious beast was tens of thousands of feet tall, and looked exactly the same as the beast emperor Cheong-Chi. It's Cheong-Chi's innate ability, the Cheong-Chi treasured art. No wonder Cheong-Chi is so strong. He actually awakened the Cheong-Chi clan's innate ability. What a terrifying Cheong-Chi treasured art. Lin Feng was astonished when he saw the winged tiger. The Cheong-Chi beast that was propping up the heavens and earth waved its claws. Rumble. A loud sound shook the sky. It was as if the sky was going to collapse. The power of that attack was unimaginable. Bang, 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 bang. Cheong-Chi clashed with the 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings. The 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings were all sent flying. They spat out mouthfuls of blood, and their bodies were torn apart. The difference was too big. Run! The 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings were scared out of their wits. They didn't dare to continue fighting, and they fled into the distance. However, Cheong-Chi had already locked onto them, and they couldn't escape. The giant claw slammed down again. Bang! After the second attack, the bodies of the 2 beast kings and the one-eyed cultivator exploded. Then, the third attack came. Bang! The remaining 2 beast kings were also killed. Fight it to the death. The eyes of the dark nether ancestor and the others turned red as they charged at Cheong-Chi. But at this moment, the beast emperor Cheong-Chi was too powerful. Once Cheong-Chi used his treasure technique, who could contend against him? Cheong-Chi attacked for the 4th time, and the skinny cultivator and Tao Master Concord were killed. Ah, if you want us to die, I'll drag you down with me. Dark Nether Ancestor and Maluo Kaluo roared. They charged in front of Cheong-Chi, and their bodies exploded. Rumble. An earth-shattering power exploded out as the 2 of them self-destructed. Terrifying energy surged out, and the beast emperor Cheong-Chi was blasted away. Half of Cheong-Chi's body was blasted apart. It fell to the ground and couldn't get up for a long time. The 5 strong cultivators and the 4 beast kings were all dead. It's really too terrifying. Lin Feng was shocked. The strength displayed by the beast emperor, Cheong-Chi, was unimaginably strong. Cheong-Chi struggled to get up. For the next day, it kept roaring, and its royal aura spread for 3,000 miles. The forest was dead silent. No beast dared to come out. However, The beast Emperor Qi's roar was mixed with a trace of sadness. Half of its body was blasted apart. It can't live anymore, the fire Qilin said. One day later, the beast Emperor Qi crashed into a mountain and buried itself in the rubble. Chapter 121. Dig out Qi's corpse. Its entire body is full of treasures, the fire Qilin shouted. Lin Feng nodded and rushed over. Soon, Lin Feng dug out Qi's corpse. Lin Feng smiled when he saw the corpse. So many experts had tried to steal Qi's corpse, but in the end, he had benefited from it. What a great fortune! Qi's entire body was full of treasures, including blood essence, origin energy, bones, and so on. Of course, the most precious part was its origin energy, which could greatly increase the cultivator's cultivation. However, just as Lin Feng was about to cut open Qi's corpse, a golden light suddenly shot out of Qi's body and entered Lin Feng's mind. In the next moment, a palm-sized golden Qi appeared in Lin Feng's mind. Qi's soul. Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. Not good. The fire Qilin's expression also changed. It had not expected Qi's soul to be hanging on to its last breath. Now that Qi's soul had entered Lin Feng's mind, it must be trying to possess Lin Feng's soul. This was going to be troublesome. The fire Qilin was anxious, but it could not help Lin Feng. Brat, you have to hold on. The fire Qilin was anxious. I sensed a little ant hiding here to watch the show. Why do you think the battle destroyed so much of the forest, but your hiding place was not destroyed? Qi's soul asked. Lin Feng's soul shouted in fear. You did it on purpose? Brat, you're not too stupid to think of this. I already guessed the situation, so I didn't kill you because I wanted to possess you. Qi's soul sneered. Lin Feng's soul said indifferently originally, I felt a little pity for a high and mighty beast emperor like you, but it seems I pitied the wrong person. Do I need to pity an ant like you? The beast emperor Qi's eyes flashed with killing intent. An existence at his level was an existence that killed without batting an eyelid. His heart was as cold as steel. Let me seize your body. Qi's soul sneered and charged towards Lin Feng's soul. He opened his mouth and tried to devour Lin Feng's soul. A terrifying devouring power surged out. In Lin Feng's mind, a storm was raging. A powerful suction force enveloped Lin Feng's soul. Lin Feng's soul flew uncontrollably towards Qi's soul. Qi's soul was a terrifying existence that surpassed the yin-yang realm, and Lin Feng was only a martial master realm cultivator, so there was no way he could contend against Qi's soul. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. He was not a person who gave up easily. Faced with Qi's soul being devoured, Lin Feng began to circulate the Archean dragonesque elephant art. Waves of tyrannical immemorial dragonesque elephant force began to circulate. The immemorial dragonesque elephant shadow appeared and charged towards Qi's soul. Immemorial dragonesque elephant? How is this possible? What kind of cultivation technique is this? You actually condensed the immemorial dragonesque elephant? Qi was an expert at the level of the Beast Emperor, so he naturally knew many shocking things. He had also heard rumors about the immemorial dragonesque elephant. He knew what the immemorial dragonesque elephant represented. When he saw Lin Feng condense the immemorial dragonesque elephant shadow, he felt incomparably shocked. Soon, Qi's soul became excited. If he seized this brat's body, everything about him would be his. His body, memories, cultivation techniques. This emperor will eat you. Qi's soul quickly charged over. Qi's soul was too powerful. It actually broke through the immemorial dragonesque elephant shadow. It was not that Lin Feng's immemorial dragonesque elephant art was not strong enough, but that Lin Feng's cultivation was still too weak. It was difficult for him to use the true power of the immemorial dragonesque elephant art. Qi's soul pounced in front of Lin Feng's soul and wanted to devour Lin Feng's soul. However, at this critical juncture, an ancient aura surged in Lin Feng's mind. A mysterious and ancient devil pearl appeared in Lin Feng's mind. When Lin Feng crazily circulated the immemorial dragonesque elephant art, the mysterious devil pearl seemed to have sensed what was happening outside and took the initiative to fly out. The mysterious devil pearl floated in Lin Feng's mind. Following that, a terrifying suction force surged out from the mysterious devil pearl. It was exactly the same as when it had devoured the fire Qilin's boundless divine energy. This mysterious devil pearl seemed to be able to devour everything. Impossible. How can it be this thing? Wasn't this thing already destroyed? Qi's soul seemed to have recognized what the mysterious devil pearl was and cried out in fear. Myriad body, break, break, break. Qi's soul roared, and his primordial spirit instantly split into thousands of primordial spirits, trying to escape. As long as one primordial spirit escaped, Qi's soul would be able to find a chance to be reborn. However, the mysterious devil pearl was too terrifying. The thousands of primordial spirits split from Qi's soul were all enveloped and then devoured by the mysterious devil pearl. No, no. This emperor has dominated the world for 5,700 years. I am not willing to die like this. Qi's soul let out a final cry. Following that, all the primordial spirits were devoured by the mysterious devil pearl. An unparalleled beast emperor had completely fallen. Chapter 122. Lin Feng was out of danger. He heaved a sigh of relief. It had been too dangerous, and he had almost died at the hands of Qi's soul. Luckily, the mysterious demonic orb had shown its power at the critical moment. Otherwise, it would have been his death anniversary next year. Are you all right? The fire Qilin asked with concern. Lin Feng replied, I'm fine. The mysterious demonic orb devoured Qi's soul. The fire Qilin was terrified when it heard the mysterious demonic orb. That Qi's soul was really unlucky. If it had been anyone else, it would have succeeded in taking over their body, but it just had to meet you. I was just lucky. Without the mysterious demonic orb, I would have died at the hands of Qi's soul. Lin Feng rejoiced. While Lin Feng was still rejoicing, something happened that made Lin Feng extremely worried. Qi's body started to burn. When he saw this, Lin Feng's mouth twitched violently. Peak experts would use a secret technique to prevent their corpses from being taken by others before they died, so their corpses would self-destruct. Let's wait and see if there's anything left behind. The fire Qilin narrowed its eyes and said, if there's nothing left, it means that there's no such opportunity. Opportunities can't be forced. The fire Qilin was originally a divine beast, and experts like it could peer into the great Tao of heaven and earth and seize the great Tao of heaven and earth. Very quickly, Qi's corpse burned to ashes. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. He saw a pitch-black object in the pile of ashes. He picked it up and was shocked. It was a pitch-black bone. Qi's treasured bone. The fire Qilin exclaimed, I never thought that Qi's treasured bone would be left behind. Look at those runes. They're the Qi's treasure technique recorded on Qi's treasured bone. Qi's treasured technique? Lin Feng was shocked. He thought of the secret technique that Qi had used to kill 5 experts and 4 beast kings. It was Qi's treasure technique. We shouldn't stay here for too long. Let's quickly leave and find a place to study the Qi's precious bones. There should be some Qi's precious techniques imprinted on them. Fire Qilin said. Lin Feng nodded, put away the precious bone, and quickly left with the fire Qilin. 3 days later, Lin Feng's laughter came from a cave. It really is the Qi Paragon technique. In the following period of time, Lin Feng bitterly cultivated the Qi treasure technique, and his progress was extremely great. When Lin Feng walked towards the outskirts of the desolate forest, he was spotted by a few mercenaries. Isn't that the guy our Heavenly Wolf mercenary group is looking for? A mercenary said in surprise. Hurry up and take out the portrait. The second mercenary said. Soon, these mercenaries took out a portrait and saw that it was a handsome young man. It was Lin Feng. As expected, it's him. Let's go and inform the young commander. The mercenaries quickly left. Rumble. 1 day later, Lin Feng was resting beside a small stream when he suddenly felt the ground tremble. In the distance, dust flew everywhere. Lin Feng frowned slightly. It seemed that many people were rushing towards him. After a short time, Lin Feng saw a gigantic celestial wolf running towards him. There was a mercenary riding on the back of each celestial wolf. There were more than 20 people riding on heavenly wolves. They quickly rushed over and surrounded Lin Feng. Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect to encounter these people. He looked at the leader. This person was none other than Duanmu Yan, the young commander of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. He was Duanmu Feiyang's elder brother. When the demons were wreaking havoc, the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group purposely robbed the smaller cultivator groups along the way to steal their wealth. Later, they targeted Lin Feng and the others, and dozens of them were killed by Lin Feng. Duanmu Yin personally tried to kill Lin Feng and the others, but he failed in the end. This was the first time Lin Feng had met Duanmu Yin. Not long after, Lin Feng stole Duanmu Yan's netherworld yellow spring water. The enmity between them grew. Lin Feng didn't expect that they would meet again here. Lin Feng, you didn't expect us to meet again so soon, did you? Duanmu Yin sneered at Lin Feng. Yes, I didn't expect it. Why? Are you here to die? Lin Feng's lips curled into a cold smile. Brat, you won't cry until you see the coffin. Now that we've surrounded you, you still dare to boast shamelessly. Kill him, said Duanmu Yin coldly. Yes, young commander. Immediately, a martial scholar jumped down from his mount and rushed towards Lin Feng. Duanmu Yin had personally led a group of people to kill Lin Feng. Even though he hadn't brought many people, they were all martial scholars. These people were the true elites of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. Duanmu Yin was determined to kill Lin Feng. There were 20 strong cultivators who had broken through to the Wu Qi lair. Little brat, eat my Heavenly Wolf fist, said the mercenary while smiling evilly. He then threw a punch at Lin Feng which shook the atmosphere. Faintly, the silhouette of a celestial wolf condensed in the air. The celestial wolf was baring its fangs and brandishing its claws at Lin Feng, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly. When he saw the mercenaries attack, he immediately used the ancient draconic elephant incantation. A powerful ancient draconic elephant incantation surged out and violently collided with the mercenaries' attack. Kacha kacha. The mercenary's arm was broken when he collided with Lin Feng's attack. Lin Feng's attack had landed on his chest. Chapter 123. Damn it! Duanmu Tian's face instantly darkened when he saw the two strong mercenaries being killed by Lin Feng. His eyes were filled with killing intent. 2 more people had been killed by Lin Feng. Duanmu Tian wished he could grind Lin Feng's bones to dust. Lin Feng himself did not have any intention of showing mercy to the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. Firstly, it was either you die or I live between him and the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. Secondly, the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group was a mercenary group on the surface, but they were a group of bandits in the dark. They robbed, killed, and killed the innocent. They were extremely despicable. Killing these people was also a good thing for the people. Young leader, this kid is a little strange, one of the mercenaries said. What are you afraid of? We have so many people. Could it be that we're afraid of a teenager? All of you, go and kill this kid. Duanmu Tian said sinisterly. Yes, young leader. The rest of the people received the order and drew their weapons one by one as they rushed towards Lin Feng. There were more than 20 people in the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group, and they were all elites of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group. They were all martial masters. This force was definitely not to be underestimated in the Jinwu country, and Duanmu Tian's strength had already reached the 5th martial master realm. He was unfathomable. Therefore, Duanmu Tian did not think that Lin Feng would be able to cause any trouble. This time, he had brought so many experts of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group to kill Lin Feng. Duanmu Tian had already made full preparations to ensure that nothing would go wrong. The 20 people of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Group surrounded Lin Feng. Kid, go and die. The mercenaries laughed sinisterly and quickly rushed over. They waved their weapons and slashed towards Lin Feng. You're courting death. Lin Feng's expression was cold. He held the black dragon sword in his hand and rushed into the crowd. He held the sword with both hands and slashed out. It was as if Lin Feng had entered a realm where nobody could stop him. Clang, clang, clang. Sounds of collisions could be heard. Lin Feng, and the heavenly wolf mercenaries clashed together. Lin Feng's black dragon sword was one of the 72 godly swords of the Godly Sword Scroll. When the black dragon sword collided with the celestial wolves mercenary group's weapon, their weapons simply could not withstand the sharpness of the black dragon sword. The divine sword displayed its might. Crack, crack. The weapons of the heavenly wolf mercenaries had all been broken. Puff, puff, puff. Following that, a series of tearing sounds could be heard. One by one, the heavenly wolf mercenaries were killed by Lin Feng. Although the cultivators of the heavenly wolf mercenary corps were powerful, Lin Feng was even more powerful. Furthermore, Lin Feng possessed the black dragon sword, ranked 72 in the Divine Sword Manual. To be able to control such a powerful weapon, it was simply a one-sided massacre. Puff, puff, puff. The sound of bodies tearing apart spread in the air. One after another, the mercenaries were killed by Lin Feng. These mercenaries were all reputable experts in the outside world. But now, in front of Lin Feng, they couldn't even withstand a single blow. They couldn't withstand Lin Feng's powerful attack at all. Brat, you're courting death. A strong cultivator of the Celestial Wolves mercenary group attacked Lin Feng from behind with his blade. Lin Feng reacted extremely quickly. He quickly turned around and stabbed out with his sword. Puff. This sword directly pierced through the chest of the expert from the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps. This expert from the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps fell to the ground on his back, completely dead. Not long after, only 5 or 6 people from the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps were left alive. Seeing this scene, Duanmu Tian's eyes turned red. These people were the most elite experts of the Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps. But now, their losses were so great. The Heavenly Wolf Mercenary Corps had suffered a great loss. Little bastard, you're courting death, Duanmu Tian roared angrily. Holding the black iron spear in his hand, he leaped up and charged towards Lin Feng. Berserk God Spear Technique, shouted Duanmu Tian furiously. He kept throwing his spear at Lin Feng. Each spear attack was extremely powerful. It could easily pierce through the hardest basalt stone. 13 spear attacks in a row. The tip of the spear even formed an awe-inspiring spear chi. The Berserk God Spear Technique's 13 spear attacks were continuously stacked together. When the 13th spear attack was launched, its power had already reached a level where it could instantly shatter metal. It was extremely tyrannical. Facing Duanmu Tian's ferocious attack, Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Duanmu Tian was at the 5th celestial layer of the martial master layer. His strength had reached 4 million jin, which was extremely tyrannical. During the great competition of the 4 academies, Lin Feng had been able to defeat Xinyuan Zhan, who had a strength of 10 million jin. But now, Lin Feng's cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds, and he had obtained a divine weapon like the Black Dragon Sword. Facing a cultivator like Duanmu Tian wasn't too difficult. Divine Sword unsheathed. Scorching Sun rises. Lin Feng made his move and displayed the Scorching Sun swordsmanship. He stabbed out with his sword. A scorching sun slowly rose into the sky, and a dazzling light illuminated the world. Ah, I can't open my eyes. The surrounding mercenaries screamed in pain. Being illuminated by the dazzling light, they felt as if their eyes were going blind. It's useless to try to interfere with me. Duanmu Tian laughed sinisterly. He narrowed his eyes and stabbed the black iron spear in his hand towards Lin Feng's chest. He seemed to have seen the scene of Lin Feng being killed in midair. Boom! At this time, Lin Feng also moved. He displayed the scorching sun swordsmanship. Like a bolt of lightning, he became one with his sword and slashed out with his sword. Clang! The spear and sword collided. The sword chi crisscrossed and the spear chi shot out in all directions. Many of the surrounding trees and rocks were instantly pierced through by the sword chi and the spear chi. Crack! What followed was a cracking sound. It was the spear in Duanmu Tian's hand. The black dragon sword once again displayed its might. The spear in Duanmu Tian's hand couldn't block the black dragon sword at all. Not good. Duanmu Tian's face changed drastically, and he quickly retreated. Die! Lin Feng didn't give Duanmu Tian a chance to retreat. He leaped out and stabbed with a fatal blow. Puff! The sword pierced through Duanmu Tian's neck. Lin Feng pulled out his sword. Blood spurted out. Duanmu Tian's eyes widened in anger. He couldn't believe that he had died at the hands of Lin Feng. Then, he fell to the ground. His body twitched violently a few times, and then he died. Young commander is dead. Run. Run quickly. When the other mercenaries saw that Lin Feng had killed Duanmu Tian, they were all scared out of their wits. Their faces were pale as they screamed in fear and fled into the distance. Lin Feng's expression was cold. He quickly chased after them and killed one of them with his sword. Soon, all the members of the Heavenly Wolf mercenary group were killed by Lin Feng. More than 20 experts of the Heavenly Wolf mercenary group were killed by Lin Feng. Lin Feng took away their valuables and burned their bodies. Then, he quickly left the place and disappeared into the forest. Chapter 124. Qingfeng Town was close to the desolate forest. It was a place where many cultivators who entered the desolate forest would rest. It was very lively. Lin Feng arrived at Qingfeng Town. Although Qingfeng Town wasn't big, it had everything. There were brothels, gambling houses, bars, inns, and so on. Go, go, go. Outside Qingfeng Town, the sound of horses galloping could be heard. Then, the town was in chaos. He saw a group of mercenaries riding their horses into the forest. They didn't have any intention of stopping. The young master of the giant dragon mercenary group is here. Hurry up and get out of the way. Many people began to shout loudly. The pedestrians on the road hurriedly dodged to the sides of the road. Little brother, hurry up and get out of the way. Don't block their way. Otherwise, you won't be able to bear the consequences. A middle-aged cultivator pulled Lin Feng to the side of the street. Very quickly, this group of over 30 people on dark yellow horses rushed over and entered the town. Uncle, who are these people? They're so unscrupulous. Lin Feng asked. The middle-aged cultivator said, Little brother, you must be new here. You don't know these people. Let me tell you, the leader of the group is called Su Tianhao. He's the young master of the Giant Dragon Mercenary Group. The Giant Dragon Mercenary Group is the second strongest mercenary group in Jinwu country. The leader of the Giant Dragon Mercenary Group, Su Zhongshuan, is a general. Who would dare to provoke them? Isn't that just courting death? I see. Thank you for telling me. Lin Feng cupped his fists and thanked the middle-aged cultivator. After bidding farewell to the middle-aged cultivator, Lin Feng found a restaurant to eat. He chose a seat on the second floor. Not long after, a group of people came and went to a private room on the third floor. The leader of the group was Su Tianhao. He was about 20 years old and had a pair of long and narrow eyes, which made him look quite gloomy. These people directly went to the third floor. Lin Feng didn't pay much attention to these people. After eating, Lin Feng found an inn in the town and booked a room. He planned to rest in the town for a few days. In the past month, Lin Feng had experienced too many life and death battles in the desolate forest. He was a bit tired and needed to rest. Lin Feng stayed on the fourth floor. When he opened the window, Lin Feng saw a shop across the street called Spirit Pavilion. He asked around and found out that it was a place that sold simple spirit arrays. Spirit arrays. The owner of the Spirit Pavilion was called Nangong Ningyu, a spirit array master. Lin Feng was very surprised. He didn't think that a small town like Windy Town would have a spirit array master. Lin Feng arrived at the Ling Xian restaurant. There were 3 beautiful clerks there. Sitting behind the counter was a woman in white clothes. She looked like she was about 17 or 18 years old. She had a beautiful face, and her white clothes made her look like a celestial being who didn't belong to the mortal world. Sir, do you want to buy a spirit array? We sell first and second grade spirit array charms. They were all personally drawn by Miss Nangong. A shop assistant walked up and said with a smile, Spirit array charms were created by drawing a spirit array on a talisman stone. The talisman stone was a special kind of stone. It was also a medium for drawing spirit arrays. Once the talisman was successfully drawn, all one needed to do was to inject their true qi into the talisman, and the formation imprinted on the talisman could be activated. I'm here to visit Miss Nangong. Can I trouble you to announce my arrival? Lin Feng asked. Sir, our Miss Nangong doesn't see guests. The shop assistant said. Lin Feng continued. You just said that a spirit array master wants to visit Miss Nangong. Sir, you're also a spirit array master? Okay, I'll go and report it. Hearing that Lin Feng was a spirit array master, the shop assistant's face immediately revealed an extremely respectful expression. A spirit array master was the most honorable profession in the Tianwu continent. A spirit array master could even be a guest of honor in any power. The shop assistant came to Nangong Ningyu's side and reported this matter. Nangong Ningyu looked outside and saw Lin Feng. She nodded and walked out. Ningyu is late. I hope you can forgive me. Nangong Ningyu walked over with a fragrant wind. Her voice was gentle and pleasant. Being in close contact with her, Lin Feng was even more amazed by her beauty. She really was like a fairy that had fallen from the immortal world. Miss Ningyu is too polite. I'm Lin Feng. I passed by and heard that Miss Nangong is also a spirit array master, so I took the liberty to come and visit. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said, Ningyu is naturally overjoyed that Brother Lin came to visit. I welcome you very much. Please follow me to the living room to talk. Nangong Ningyu said with a smile. The two of them came to the living room and a maid served tea. Nangong Ningyu said with a smile, Brother Lin looks unfamiliar. Where are you from? Lin Feng said, I'm from Qingyun City. Nangong Ningyu said, I never thought that Qingyun City would have such a genius spirit array master like Brother Lin. Indeed, spiritual array masters were extremely rare. In the 10 cities, there might not even be one spiritual array master. For a small city like Green Cloud City to have a spirit array master, it was indeed quite surprising. Lin Feng said, I was lucky to be able to become a spirit array master. I just came to Qingfeng Town today, so I came to visit Miss Ningyu first. I'll be staying in Qingfeng Town for a few days. When the time comes, I hope to be able to communicate with Miss Ningyu more. Nangong Ningyu said happily. Naturally, Ningyu couldn't ask for more. It's really not easy to meet a spirit array master in this vast sea of people. After Lin Feng said goodbye to Nangong Ningyu, he found a nearby inn to stay. In the following period of time, Lin Feng often communicated with Nangong Ningyu and discussed their experiences in spirit arrays. Lin Feng was currently a yellow rank, initial stage, intermediate stage spirit array master and had mastered 12 diagrams. Nangong Ningyu was a yellow rank, initial stage, advanced stage spirit array master and had mastered 26 diagrams. The difference between the two of them wasn't that great, so they could communicate and discuss many things. Inside the spirit pavilion, Lin Feng stood in front of a table and was drawing a spirit array. Spirit patterns appeared on the talisman paper as if they had a life of their own, emitting a scorching energy. This was the Raging Flame Array. It was a yellow rank, initial stage, advanced stage spirit array. During this period of time, he had been communicating with Nangong Ningyu about spirit arrays. Lin Feng felt that he had made great progress, so he began to try to break through to a higher rank. This large array was formed by a total of 49 spirit patterns. Lin Feng was completely focused. The spirit patterns twisted and intertwined together, forming a beautiful pattern. If one looked carefully, it looked like a cluster of flames that was about to burn. When the last spirit pattern was completed, the spirit energy between heaven and earth continuously gathered and was absorbed by the intertwined spirit pattern. The twisted spirit patterns emitted waves of heat attribute energy. Nangong Ningyu smiled and said, Congratulations, Brother Lin, for successfully becoming an advanced stage spirit array master. Lin Feng let out a long breath, then smiled and said, It's all thanks to Miss Ningyu's help. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so easy to break through. Nangong Ningyu smiled and said, We helped each other and improved together. Nangong Ningyu's temperament was gentle. Although she was already a yellow rank, initial stage, and advanced stage spirit array master at such a young age, she was very modest and low-key. The next morning, the wind was gentle and the sun was bright. The warm sunlight sprinkled down. Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu entered the desolate jungle together. This time, Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu were collecting talisman stones in the desolate jungle. Talisman stones were special stones that were the carriers of spirit arrays. When a spirit array was drawn on a talisman paper, its power would become weaker and weaker, and it would quickly dissipate. If a spirit array was drawn on a talisman stone, it could be preserved. The talisman stone was also very convenient to carry and use. If one wanted to use a spirit array to kill an enemy, they could directly take out the talisman stone and pour their true chi into it. The power of the talisman stone would then be released. The talisman stones of the Spirit Pavilion were all personally collected by Nangong Ningyu. The two of them arrived at a mountain range, and Nangong Ningyu said, "Talisman stones are stones that contain spiritual chi. They are most likely to appear in places that are exposed to the wind and the sun all year round. Look over there." Nangong Ningyu pointed at a mountain peak, and the two of them climbed up. Sure enough, they found many talisman stones there. These talisman stones contained a faint energy, which was a special phenomenon formed by absorbing the essence of the world all year round. Talisman stones should also be different, right? Lin Feng asked. Nangong Ningyu nodded and said, "Of course. The best talisman stones have the color of a crystal. These are the talisman stones that spirit array masters yearn for even in their dreams. If a spirit array is drawn on a talisman stone, the spirit array's power will be greatly increased." "I see." Lin Feng nodded. In the next few days, Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu went to many places to look for talisman stones, and they also collected many talisman stones. Every time they collected a high-quality talisman stone, Nangong Ningyu would act like a naive little girl who had just received a toy. Her beautiful face revealed a pure smile that could make people's hearts beat faster. In the afternoon, Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu entered a mountain valley. There, they found many high-quality talisman stones. The two of them were very happy, and they collected a large amount of talisman stones. Rumble. In the evening, an earth-shattering sound came from the depths of the mountain valley. A mountain collapsed, and a steep cliff appeared. Above the cliff, a cave appeared in Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu's line of sight. "Look, there's a cave." Lin Feng pointed at the cave in surprise. "Let's go and take a look," Nangong Ningyu said. "Okay." Lin Feng nodded and walked towards the cave with Nangong Ningyu. Soon, the two of them arrived in front of the cliff. They jumped along the cliff to a narrow platform in front of the cave, and then looked inside. The cave was pitch black. Lin Feng lit a torch and entered the cave with Nangong Ningyu. The passage was long, and after walking for about 4 or 5 meters, Lin Feng found some oil lamps on the walls on both sides. Lin Feng lit a torch, and the cave gradually became brighter. "It seems like someone has lived here before," Nangong Ningyu said. Lin Feng said, "Could it be a strong cultivator's cave?" "It's very possible." Nangong Ningyu nodded. The two of them sped up. After walking for about 100 meters, they discovered a huge mountain in front of them. The two of them entered the mountain and saw stone furniture, such as stone chairs, stone tables, and so on. In addition, there was a stone bed with a skeleton sitting cross-legged on it. "It's really a strong cultivator's cave. It seems like this senior has been dead for a long time. His corpse has turned into a skeleton. Hey, look, there are 2 books and 2 bottles of pills on the table." Lin Feng was surprised and pointed at the stone table next to the bed. It must have been left behind by this senior. Nangong Ningyu's pretty face also looked happy. The two of them rushed towards the stone table. But at that moment, whoosh, whoosh. Not good. Someone's coming. Chapter 125. There's still someone here? A surprised voice was heard. The person who spoke was a young man from a noble family. It was Su Tianhao. He was the young master of the giant dragon mercenary group. Lin Feng had seen him riding a fierce yellow horse in Clearwind Town. He was arrogant and despotic. "So it's Miss Nangong Ningyu." After seeing the two people in the cave clearly, Su Tianhao's eyes suddenly narrowed. He looked at Nangong Ningyu with a scorching gaze. The giant dragon mercenary group had always been active in this area, and Nangong Ningyu was a goddess. It was normal for Su Tianhao to know Nangong Ningyu. In fact, Su Tianhao didn't just know Nangong Ningyu, he even pursued her. However, Nangong Ningyu rejected him. If it was an ordinary woman, Su Tianhao would have forced himself on her. However, Nangong Ningyu's identity as a spirit array master was enough to make Su Tianhao afraid. Nangong Ningyu nodded and said, "Young Master Su, I didn't expect to meet you here." Brother Lin and I found this place first. Please leave. Haha. Su Tianhao suddenly laughed. He said, "This is the wild forest, not Clearwind Town. Miss Nangong's words don't seem to have any effect here. If I were Miss Nangong, I would take the initiative to leave. If you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me for being impolite." Su Tianhao obviously wanted to monopolize the treasures in the cave. Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu naturally weren't willing. To be able to open such a cave, this cultivator must have been extremely powerful when he was alive. The things that had been passed down would definitely be extremely shocking. Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu glanced at each other. They both saw a hint of understanding in each other's eyes. Attack! Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu exploded. The two of them quickly rushed to the stone table. They each took a bottle of pills and a secret book. Then, the two of them rushed outside. "You're courting death. Kill that brat and capture Nangong Ningyu alive." "I'm going to kill her." Su Tianhao roared in exasperation. "Yes, young master." Immediately, the rest of the people rushed toward Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu. Swish! At this time, Nangong Ningyu summoned a formation talisman. An astonishing energy fluctuation was transmitted from the talisman. That fluctuation swept through the world. A suffocating aura was emitted from it. Roar! Then, an earth-shattering roar sounded. A white tiger was condensed and formed. White Tiger Array Talisman. This was a white tiger condensed from a yellow grade, elementary grade, and advanced grade formation talisman. The white tiger roared and waved its claws at the giant dragon mercenary group. Bang, 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 one by one. The mercenaries were sent flying. The white tiger jade talisman won't last much longer, Nangong Ningyu said. Lin Feng nodded. Taking advantage of the white tiger's great power, he quickly rushed into the passage and rushed outside with Nangong Ningyu. Soon, the two of them rushed out of the passageway and arrived outside. "Ningyu, now that you've offended the giant dragon mercenary group, you can't go back to Fresh Breeze Town," Lin Feng said. Nangong Ningyu said, "Fresh Breeze Town was only a temporary place for me to stay. I already had plans to leave. Lin Feng, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Let's part ways here. We'll meet again someday." Lin Feng was stunned. He didn't expect Nangong Ningyu to leave, but all good things must come to an end. He also had to prepare to report to the Azure Dragon Institute. Lin Feng said, "Okay, let's part ways here." After Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu separated, they quickly flew into the distance. Nangong Ningyu flew in another direction. Not long after, Su Tianhao and the others also rushed out. Su Tianhao roared furiously, "Chase after them. Don't let them escape. Even if you have to dig 3 feet into the ground, you must catch them." Yes. The giant dragon mercenary group's members spread out and began to search for Lin Feng and Nangong Ningyu's whereabouts. Lin Feng knew how terrifying the giant dragon mercenary group was. This was a powerful mercenary group led by a martial general. Furthermore, there were many high-level martial master mercenaries. If they were to be besieged, it would be extremely dangerous. Lin Feng ran for more than 30 li before jumping onto a big tree to rest. He took out the 2 things he obtained. One was a secret manual. One was a bottle of pills. Lin Feng opened the bottle and found a purple gold pill inside. The pill emitted a shocking energy fluctuation. He didn't know what grade it was, but it was definitely a high-quality pill. Lin Feng put away the pill and looked at the secret manual. There were 4 big words written on the manual. Soul Sword. This was actually a secret soul technique. This made Lin Feng go wild with joy. Secret soul techniques were the rarest secret techniques. It was almost impossible to find a secret soul technique's inheritance. Any kind of secret soul technique was priceless. If one cultivated a secret soul technique, they could use their soul to silently attack the opponent's soul. The soul was a person's origin. If the soul was destroyed, the person would die. Therefore, secret soul techniques were extremely terrifying. Unexpectedly, I could actually obtain a secret soul-type technique. My soul is 20 times stronger than cultivators on the same level as me. If I can successfully cultivate out the soul-type sword technique, won't I be able to kill gods and Buddhas? When Lin Feng saw the soul sword, he couldn't bear to put it down. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Suddenly, The sound of something breaking through the air came from afar. Lin Feng's expression turned cold. He looked into the distance and saw two mercenaries rushing in his direction. The giant dragon mercenary group's members. These people actually chased me all the way here. Lin Feng frowned. He completely hid himself. Damn, where did that brat and Nangong Ningyu go? We haven't found them after searching for so long. Hee, the young master has already issued an arrest order. Our giant dragon mercenary group has tens of thousands of people, and the young master has mobilized 10,000 people to search for them. They won't be able to escape even if they have wings. Tisk tsk. Nangong Ningyu is really the best of the best. Once we catch that woman, the young master will have his fun. It'll be great if we can have our fun too. Dream on. We can only dream about it. All right, let's hurry up and find them. If we can find them, it'll be a great achievement. The two mercenaries quickly rushed into the distance. After they left, Lin Feng jumped down from the tree and ran into the distance. He had to leave this area quickly. Otherwise, he would be in extreme danger. The giant dragon mercenary group had mobilized 10,000 people to search for them. This was too much. Whoosh! Suddenly, Lin Feng, who was flying in the forest, felt the sound of something breaking through the air behind him. He turned around and saw an arrow shooting at him as fast as lightning. It was aimed directly at his chest. Chapter 126. Behind him, an arrow shot towards him. Someone was trying to sneak an attack on him, trying to kill him. This arrow was too fast and too sudden. Fortunately, Lin Feng had always been very vigilant. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to discover this arrow. Lin Feng felt the aura of death from the arrow that was shot towards him. However, his reaction was extremely fast. Before the arrow arrived, Lin Feng had already taken the initiative to move. His body quickly moved to the right. Whoosh! Immediately after, the arrow pierced through the void and almost brushed past Lin Feng's head. In the end, it ruthlessly pierced through a large tree. Who is it? Hiding the head and showing the tail, the behavior of a scoundrel. Lin Feng shouted with a gloomy expression. Kid, your mouth is too sharp. Do I need to hide the head and show the tail to kill you? A cold laugh was heard. In the distance, a tall man with a hideous scar on his face and a ferocious expression walked over with a huge bow in his hand. Just now, it was this person who shot that arrow. The giant dragon mercenary group really made a big fuss. They sent out so many people to search for me. Lin Feng's tone had a hint of sarcasm. Kid, you stole the young master's things and still want to get out alive. It's simply a fool's dream. The tall and sturdy mercenary threw his bow aside and rushed towards Lin Feng. Boom! He attacked and punched towards Lin Feng. That tyrannical power suddenly burst out. The power of this punch was as strong as 1,000 caddies and could easily shatter gold and iron. This person's strength was very strong. It was at least 10 million caddies. However, facing this tyrannical attack from the tall and sturdy mercenary, Lin Feng only sneered. Although this mercenary's strength was not bad, Lin Feng was even stronger. Boom! Lin Feng attacked and waves of terrifying power burst out from his body. Facing this attack from the tall and sturdy mercenary, Lin Feng's expression was extremely cold. Kill! He let out a low roar and punched out. Bang! Along with the earth-shattering sound of the collision, Lin Feng and the burly mercenary fiercely collided. The burly mercenary's body flew out like a broken kite. Wow! In midair, the burly mercenary spat out a mouthful of blood. With a plop, he fell to the ground in a sorry state. That's impossible! The burly mercenary roared in disbelief. He was a 5th heavenly layer martial master, and his strength had reached 5 million kilograms. How could he lose to a teenager? The burly mercenary jumped up. He was now a little angry from embarrassment. Brat, I'll tear you apart, shouted the tall and sturdy mercenary. Immediately after, he threw himself at Lin Feng. Savage beast fist technique, shouted the tall and sturdy mercenary. He looked like a ferocious beast and threw himself at Lin Feng. Boom, boom, boom. The burly mercenary punched out 13 times in a row, each punch stronger than the last. 13 punches stacked on top of each other. Behind the burly mercenary, true chi surged. The surging true qi vaguely took the shape of ferocious beasts. Taotai, Baifeng, Xieji, Ho, and other fierce beasts appeared one by one. Those ferocious beasts were all moving towards Lin Feng. The power of this savage beast fist technique was really powerful. It could actually condense so many terrifying fierce beasts. Moreover, Lin Feng could feel that these true qi fierce beasts had an extremely powerful attack power. Brat, die. The burly mercenary let out a sinister laugh as he charged forward. A sinister smile hung on his face. The 13 fierce beasts also bared their fangs and brandished their claws as they charged towards Lin Feng. Facing the attack of the burly mercenary, Lin Feng moved. Devouring martial spirit. Rumble. Lin Feng activated his martial spirit and condensed a devouring black hole. The devouring martial spirit turned into a black hole that enveloped heaven and earth. Immediately, the burly mercenary and the 13 true qi fierce beasts were imprisoned. Ah, my body, why can't I move? The burly mercenary's face changed drastically. Lin Feng's expression was cold as he charged towards the burly cultivator and punched him. Brat, I am the hall leader of the mysterious dragon hall of the giant dragon mercenary group. If you dare to kill me, you will also die, shouted the tall and sturdy mercenary. He hoped that his words would scare Lin Feng, but in reality, his ferocious eyes were filled with fear and panic. So what if I kill you? I want to see what the giant dragon mercenary group can do to me. Lin Feng sneered. His expression was cold as he punched out with a heavy force. Bang! This punch directly landed on the burly mercenary's chest. Crack! Crack! The sound of bones cracking could be heard. The burly mercenary's chest caved in from Lin Feng's punch. It was unknown how many bones in his chest were broken. The burly mercenary was also sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. In the air, he spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood that he spat out was mixed with some shattered internal organs. There was a thump. He fell heavily to the ground, dead. The burly cultivator was killed by Lin Feng's punch. Chapter 127. In the depths of a forest, Lin Feng sat cross-legged. He took out the pill he had obtained from the cave. He didn't know what grade this pill was, but he was sure that it was an extraordinary pill. Right now, the giant dragon mercenary group was surrounding him. The situation was extremely dangerous. The giant dragon mercenary group did not lack experts. There were even many peak martial master existences. If Lin Feng encountered experts of this level, he would also encounter trouble. Therefore, Lin Feng urgently needed to increase his strength. He swallowed the pill. Boom! A tyrannical medicinal power suddenly erupted within his body. Lin Feng hurriedly circulated the immemorial dragonesque elephant art to absorb the medicinal power. Under the absorption of the immemorial dragonesque elephant art, the medicinal power of the pill was gradually absorbed by Lin Feng. Waves of tyrannical power began to erupt within his body. Buzz. At the same time, the devouring martial spirit in Lin Feng's dantian began to stir. Moreover, the temperature of his body became higher and higher. It seemed that it was because of this pill that Lin Feng's body began to change. This pill was obviously not simple. Waves of powerful medicinal power were absorbed by the immemorial dragonesque elephant art and then transformed into the purest energy. Lin Feng could clearly feel that his strength was crazily increasing. The fire Qilin at the side narrowed its eyes as it looked at Lin Feng and muttered, "This kid is really lucky. After obtaining a mystic rank pill, it seems like he's about to break through." Then, the fire Qilin was bored to death and lay on the ground to take a nap. And Lin Feng's transformation had just begun. Lin Feng's strength had undergone an earth-shattering increase. Originally, Lin Feng was at the 3rd level of the martial master realm and had a strength of 12 million genes. When the 3 devouring black holes were in operation, they could unleash a strength of 36 million genes. But at this moment, Lin Feng's strength had reached an astonishing 24 million genes. When the 3 devouring black holes were in operation, it had reached a terrifying 72 million genes. That tyrannical power exploded within his body. A terrifying shockwave surged out, and the surrounding rocks were instantly smashed into smithereens. Lin Feng opened his eyes and smiled. Fourth heavenly layer martial master. Furthermore, although he was only at the fourth layer of the martial master realm, in terms of pure strength, he had already reached the seventh layer of the martial master realm. Lin Feng suppressed the joy of breaking through and took out the secret manual that recorded the Sword of Souls. Once this secret manual was successfully cultivated, it would definitely be an extremely terrifying secret technique. At a critical moment, it could be a life-saving secret manual. Therefore, Lin Feng attached great importance to it. He flipped open the Sword of Souls secret manual. On the first page, it was written, Sword of Souls, condense a sharp sword from the soul and instantly slash the opponent's soul. However, the cultivator must remember that although the power of the Sword of Souls is great, it must be used with caution. This is because the soul is the origin of a person and must not be damaged. Although the power of the Sword of Souls is great, there are many strange people in the world. It is hard to imagine. If you encounter someone who also has a soul technique, both sides will suffer. The contents of the first page were actually to tell the person who obtained this secret manual to be careful when using a secret technique like the Sword of Souls. It was a kind reminder and also a warning. Following that, Lin Feng began to flip through the rest of the contents. Soul strength, condense into a sword. Lin Feng looked at the cultivation chants of the Sword of Souls and sank into deep thought. For 3 days in a row, he had been cultivating the powerful secret manual of the Sword of Souls in this mountain forest. The Sword of Souls was to condense one's own soul strength into a sharp sword. It was easy to say, but it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. The power of the soul was a kind of invisible and untouchable power. How could one condense it into a sword? That was simply a fool's dream. However, there was a forging method in the Sword of Souls. Using the power of heaven and earth as fire, burn the soul and condense the divine sword. Lin Feng followed the instructions in the secret manual and began to forge the Sword of Souls. The soul was the source of power. Once it was injured, the damage to a cultivator would be unimaginable. And now, in order to cultivate the Sword of Souls, Lin Feng needed to use the power of heaven and earth to burn his soul. This kind of pain was simply indescribable. When the fire of heaven and earth burned his soul, Lin Feng let out a miserable scream. If the pain of having a finger cut off was enough to make one wish they were dead, the pain that Lin Feng was enduring right now was 1,000 times worse than the pain of having a finger cut off. This kind of pain was enough to make a person collapse. Endure. I have to endure it. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. The heavens had given him a second life. What else was there that he couldn't endure? Only a person with strong faith would be able to forge a strong willpower. Once a person without faith encountered difficulties, it was very easy for them to collapse. Lin Feng's faith was a faith that was deeply rooted in his soul. He clenched his teeth, his veins bulging. He was enduring this inhumane torture. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng's body finally calmed down. The inhuman torment gradually dissipated. In Lin Feng's mind, sword energy rampaged. Buzz. A divine sword flew out, slashing towards a hard basalt rock in the cave. Pooh! That basalt rock was directly shattered by Lin Feng's Sword of Souls. Such power! Lin Feng stood up, his face full of surprise. Not bad. You actually managed to cultivate a soul secret technique in such a short time. The fire Qilin jumped up. It was rare to see it praise Lin Feng. Finally, the heavens didn't let me down. Lin Feng's face also revealed a trace of a smile. He and the fire Qilin didn't continue to stay there. They quickly left and rushed out of the forest. When they passed by a mountain range, they met a dozen mercenaries flying towards them. Lin Feng and the mercenaries were obviously stunned. They obviously didn't expect to meet like this. The leader of the other party was none other than their young master, Su Tianhao. Su Tianhao quickly reacted. His face was filled with a sinister smile, and the mercenaries quickly rushed towards Lin Feng, directly surrounding Lin Feng. Boy, you can run. I've been looking for you for a few days, but I couldn't find you. Now, let's see how you escape from my hands. Su Tianhao's sinister voice sounded. I'm afraid that you guys won't be able to stop me. Lin Feng slightly raised his eyebrows. Boy, how dare you boast in front of our young master? Some of the mercenaries berated. One of the mercenaries said, "Sir, do you want us to kill this arrogant brat?" Su Tianhao looked at Lin Feng arrogantly. He said, "Boy, I'll give you a chance to live. Kneel on the ground and swear to be my slave, and I'll spare your life. How about it?" Chapter 128. Su Tianhao didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. Moreover, he wanted to humiliate Lin Feng by making Lin Feng kneel on the ground and swear allegiance to him. He was playing with Lin Feng like a monkey. "Haha, kid. Hurry up and kneel down and swear allegiance to our young master." The group of mercenaries laughed loudly, looking at Lin Feng with mocking expressions. Lin Feng smiled icily. "You're an idiot and you dare make me kneel down? You dare to scold me?" Hearing Lin Feng's scolding, Su Tianhao was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He roared furiously. "Young master, this kid refuses a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Yeah, this guy doesn't know what's good for him." The mercenaries on the side chimed in. Su Tianhao said in a deep voice, "Slap his face until he begs for mercy." "Yes, young master." Immediately, a mercenary jumped out. This was a mercenary at the second firmament of the martial master realm. His strength was extremely tyrannical. He looked at Lin Feng with a fiendish smile. "Little brat, who do you think you are? You dare to boast shamelessly in front of our young master. Let's see if I don't beat you to death today." As soon as he finished speaking, the mercenary raised his right hand and slapped Lin Feng's face with great force. If this slap landed on his face would be smashed to pieces. Facing the mercenary's slap, Lin Feng's face was full of indifference. Swish. He moved. Lin Feng moved later but arrived first, directly in front of the mercenary. He raised his right hand and slapped. Slap. The sound of a slap spread in the air. Lin Feng had used all his strength to slap the mercenary's face. That mercenary let out a miserable shriek. His body flew out like a kite with a broken string. In midair, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was smashed by Lin Feng's slap. In some places, even his bones were exposed. With a plop, the second celestial layer martial master mercenary fell to the ground in an incomparably sorry state. He covered his head, his whole body twitching as he screamed in pain and wailed. Seeing that his subordinate had almost been slapped to death by Lin Feng, Su Tianhao gnashed his teeth in anger. He coldly shouted, "What are you waiting for? All of you, go and tear this kid into pieces." Yes, more than a dozen mercenaries all rushed towards Feng. These people were elites of the martial master realm. Some of their cultivations had even reached the 5th celestial layer martial master. But even so what? Lin Feng didn't even pay attention to a cultivator of the 5th celestial layer. Lin Feng looked cold and detached as he was surrounded by a dozen mercenaries. He leaped out and charged into the crowd. Then, clap clap, the sound of slaps rang out one after another. One by one, the mercenaries were sent flying by Lin Feng. No one was able to dodge. Everyone fell to the ground in a sorry state. Their faces had been slapped by Lin Feng. Those who were slightly weaker had directly fainted. Su Tianhao's expression changed slightly. He never thought that Lin Feng would be able to take care of his subordinates so easily. Su Tianhao's expression became extremely gloomy. However, Su Tianhao did not show any fear. That was because Su Tianhao was strong enough. Although Su Tianhao was only in his 20s, his cultivation had already reached the 7th celestial layer martial master. His own strength had even reached 32 million giant force. Such a terrifying cultivation was enough to make Su Tianhao one of the best among the younger generation. Therefore, it was normal for him to look down on Lin Feng, who was only a teenager. "Brat, you even dare to touch my people. Today, I will let you know how tragic the consequences of offending me are. I will not kill you directly. I will catch you and break every bone in your body inch by inch." Su Tianhao's sinister voice rang out. Whoosh! He moved and quickly rushed towards Lin Feng. Boom! Su Tianhao waved his right fist and punched towards Lin Feng. 32 million giant force instantly erupted. This Su Tianhao was definitely the strongest person Lin Feng had ever fought. The moment he made his move, it brought some pressure to Lin Feng. As expected of the powerful strength of the 7th celestial layer martial master. However, Lin Feng was not afraid of Su Tianhao because Lin Feng's strongest strength had reached 37,072,000 caddies. The gap between him and Su Tianhao was not big. However, Lin Feng had cultivated various powerful secret skills. This was something that Su Tianhao could not compare to. Lin Feng immediately activated his 3 devouring martial souls. Boom! A powerful force burst out from his body like a flood. Lin Feng's strength instantly rose to its peak. Bang! The two collided fiercely. In this attack, both sides were evenly matched. This is impossible. Su Tianhao roared in disbelief. He found it hard to believe that a 16 or 17-year-old youth could block his attack. Nothing is impossible. Lin Feng sneered and stepped forward. He activated his crushing fist. Boom! He punched towards Su Tianhao. Crushing Fist was an earth-rank martial art. This was a powerful martial art that could allow one to jump ranks to challenge others. Even in the entire true martial country, martial arts of this level could be counted on one's fingers. Perhaps, only the Imperial family and the Azure Dragon Institute could take it out. Although the Giant Dragon Mercenary Group was the second strongest mercenary group in the true martial country, it was impossible for them to take out a martial art of this level. Now, Lin Feng displayed the crushing fist with the intention to kill Su Tianhao. Heavenly Dragon Fist. Su Tianhao coldly bellowed. His body arched like a dragon and shot out, aiming at Lin Feng. Then, he punched out at Lin Feng. Bang! Both sides collided again. This time, Lin Feng did not move an inch. Su Tianhao was sent flying like a kite with a broken string. Wah! In midair, Su Tianhao spat out a mouthful of blood. He roared in disbelief. This is impossible. How can you be so strong? Ha 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 ha, Su Tianhao. You think too highly of yourself. Lin Feng took a step forward, his black hair fluttering in the wind. Like a young demon god, closing in on Su Tianhao. Su Tianhao's face paled. He knew that he wasn't Lin Feng's opponent. Turning around, he wanted to flee. Can you escape? Lin Feng's expression was incomparably cold. Strong winds blew, clouds flew. He took another step forward. Strong winds swept across the land. The great heaven-covering hand was formed. Lin Feng's palm struck out at Su Tianhao. Su Tianhao felt the terrifying aura behind him and quickly blocked Lin Feng's attack. Bang! Both sides collided for the third time. That tyrannical power suddenly erupted, and the energy shockwaves produced by the collision directly shattered many of the surrounding trees. Kacha! Kacha! The sound of bones breaking rang out. Su Tianhao and Lin Feng's arms were broken. Lin Feng's powerful punch landed on Su Tianhao's chest. Su Tianhao's chest caved in from the impact, and he was sent flying by Lin Feng. In midair, Su Tianhao coughed up a mouthful of blood and crashed to the ground, dead. Chapter 129. The Fire Qilin narrowed his eyes and looked at Lin Feng. He was very knowledgeable and could see how terrifying Lin Feng's Covering the Sky Hand was. The Covering the Sky Hand was an immemorial taboo technique. It was a secret technique recorded in the immemorial dragonesque elephant technique. When Lin Feng was a warrior, he had used the Covering the Sky Hand to kill Li Tianshang, who was a martial master. It was simply a myth to kill an opponent who was a great realm warrior. However, with the power of the immemorial taboo technique, Lin Feng was able to do it easily. When Lin Feng was a warrior, he had been weakened after using the Covering the Sky Hand. After that, he had been completely powerless for 3 days and 3 nights. However, as Lin Feng's cultivation increased, the side effects of the Covering the Sky Hand began to weaken. For example, when Lin Feng used his Great Celestial Hand, he didn't feel weak at all. He just needed to find a place to rest, and he would be fine. Swoosh! Lin Feng took out his sword and killed the rest of the people, then left. Quick, let's go over there and take a look. At that moment, a mercenary's shout came from not far away. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. It seemed that the other party was coming over. He couldn't stay here for long. Lin Feng turned around and disappeared into the forest. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Many people flew over. They were all members of the Dragon Mercenary Group. When they arrived, they saw the corpses everywhere and their expressions changed. Oh no, it's the young master. The young master has been killed. The mercenaries cried out in alarm. Lin Feng moved quickly in the forest. However, there were too many people in the dragon mercenary group. They could be seen in many places. Lin Feng had to think of a way to avoid the dragon mercenary group. Rumble. In the distance, dust was flying everywhere. Hundreds of knights were rampaging in the forest. The young master has been killed. Even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground, we have to find that brat. If we can't find the young master, we'll bring our heads to the leader. The leader of the mercenaries shouted loudly. Go, 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 go. The mercenaries quickly spread out and searched for Lin Feng's whereabouts. When the mercenaries left, a figure jumped down from a tree. There are too many people in the dragon mercenary group. It seems that I need to find a place to hide temporarily and wait until night to take action. Lin Feng frowning. After choosing a direction, he started flying, but after a few steps, Lin Feng was attacked. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Arrows flew towards Lin Feng, one after the other. If he was hit, he would become a beehive. Not good. I've been discovered. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. He suddenly took out his black dragon sword. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Swoosh. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Swoosh. SW. Lin Feng quickly retreated. A cursing voice came from the forest. Then a dozen mercenaries rushed out. The leader was a bald mercenary with a deep aura. He should be a high-level martial master. Send a message. The bald mercenary shouted in a deep voice. Yes, sir. Immediately, a mercenary took out a bamboo tube as thick as a thumb. He opened it. Swoosh. A golden flame soared into the sky and suddenly exploded in the sky with a loud sound. Even though it was daytime, one could still see the dazzling golden flames in the sky. Lin Feng's expression changed. Obviously, these people had sent a signal to summon their companions. Let's go. Lin Feng rushed into the forest. He didn't want to be surrounded. Once he was surrounded by these mercenaries, the only outcome would be death. Brat, do you think you can escape? Go. Stop this brat, shouted the bald mercenary loudly. He then led a dozen mercenaries to surround Lin Feng. You're courting death, Lin Feng shouted coldly. He held the black dragon sword and charged at the mercenaries. Kill him, shouted the bald mercenary furiously. He raised his long blade and rushed towards Lin Feng. Clang. An earth-shaking sound of collision was heard. The bald mercenary was sent flying by Lin Feng's sword. After that, Lin Feng rushed into the middle of the group of mercenaries and started fighting against them. Brat, you're courting death. These mercenaries all had evil smiles on their faces. In their opinion, Lin Feng was definitely going to die. Because Lin Feng couldn't care less. There were people in all directions. If it was an ordinary cultivator, these mercenaries might have succeeded in their sneak attack. However, they were facing Lin Feng. They were doomed to fail. Devouring Martial Spirit. Lin Feng directly activated his Devouring Martial Spirit and formed a spatial magnetic field. Everything within a 10-meter radius was trapped in the magnetic field. But the mercenaries who were shrouded in the magnetic field were unable to move. Even the bald mercenary, who was the strongest among them, had his movement speed greatly affected. Ah, I can't move my body. These mercenaries suddenly found that they were fixed. The strong suction force of the black hole made it difficult for them to move. One by one, they screamed in horror. Die. Lin Feng looked indifferent. He stepped forward and waved his sword. Puff, puff, puff. A tearing sound was heard. One by one, the mercenaries were killed by Lin Feng on the spot. More than 10 strong mercenaries were killed by Lin Feng in the blink of an eye. Lin Feng quickly rushed towards the bald mercenary. This person's cultivation was the strongest. Lin Feng guessed that this person's cultivation was most likely at the 7th layer of the Martial Master realm. However, because this person had been immersed in this realm for many years, his strength was much stronger than Su Tianhao's. To deal with such a person, one had to go all out and use a powerful killing move. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to kill the other mercenaries. Moreover, once he was delayed, it would be troublesome if other mercenaries were attracted. Scorching Sun Sword Technique. Lin Feng roared and slashed with his sword. Brat, you're courting death. When the bald mercenary saw that Lin Feng had killed a dozen mercenaries, he immediately shouted furiously. He raised his long sword and rushed towards Lin Feng with the intention of annihilating an entire army. Clang! The sword and the sword collided. The bald mercenary was forced back by Lin Feng. His mouth split open and blood flowed out. The bald mercenary was shocked. He knew that he was not Lin Feng's opponent. He turned around and wanted to escape. Lin Feng sneered and quickly chased after him. He held his sword with both hands and soared into the sky like a Kuan Pong. He slashed with his sword. The bald mercenary's expression changed. He waved his sword to block. Clang! The two sides once again collided fiercely. Kacha! The sword in the bald mercenary's hand was broken by Lin Feng's sword. Poochie! Then, Lin Feng's sword cut the bald mercenary in half. The bald mercenary fell to the ground with his back facing the sky. He had already breathed his last and was no longer breathing. After killing the bald mercenary, Lin Feng quickly left. He did not dare to stay any longer because the reinforcements would arrive soon. He found a cave in a valley and hid in it. Time passed quietly. The dragon mercenary group was still looking for Lin Feng's whereabouts, but they could not find him. Lin Feng left the cave and took advantage of the darkness of the night to quickly leave the forest. As long as he left the forest, the outside world would be vast and boundless. Birds could fly freely in the sky, and fish could swim freely in the sea. At that time, the members of the dragon mercenary group wouldn't be able to find him. Lin Feng took advantage of the darkness of the night to travel through the forest. He had avoided a dozen groups of mercenaries who were searching for him. At dawn, he arrived at the edge of the forest. Lin Feng had a smile on his face. Finally, he was going to leave the forest. Whoosh! But at this moment, a ghostly figure suddenly appeared from a big tree. It quickly came behind Lin Feng and attacked Lin Feng with a palm. It wanted to kill Lin Feng directly. Chapter 130. This person's sudden attack had caught Lin Feng off guard. This palm was obviously meant to take Lin Feng's life. However, Lin Feng had always been alert and vigilant. Therefore, when the figure behind him launched a sneak attack on Lin Feng had already sensed it in advance. Whoosh! He quickly moved to the left. Bang! That person's punch was in the air and hadn't managed to hit Lin Feng. However, that punch had managed to destroy a gigantic tree in the distance, which was so thick that it would take 5 or 6 people to wrap their arms around it. From this, it could be seen how terrifying this palm was. Lin Feng quickly retreated 5 or 6 meters. At this time, Lin Feng also clearly saw the person's appearance. It was a middle-aged man with a thin body and a pair of eyes that emitted a sinister light. Kid, you really have some ability. You actually managed to dodge my attack. I want to see if you really have the ability to escape from my hands. The thin mercenary said sinisterly. Lin Feng roughly sensed the strength of the thin mercenary. He discovered that this person's cultivation was simply unfathomable. Lin Feng estimated that this person should be at the 8th celestial layer of the martial master realm. An existence at this level already had the ability to kill him. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy, but he would not admit defeat. He sneered and said, "You want to take my life? It's simply a fool's dream. Kid, arrogant. Today, I will definitely turn your bones into ashes." As his voice fell, the thin mercenary had already rushed towards Lin Feng. This thin mercenary was so powerful. Lin Feng estimated that he had an extraordinary position in the giant dragon mercenary group. The thin mercenary punched towards Lin Feng. A tyrannical power suddenly erupted. Waves of destructive aura filled the air. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. He rushed forward and used a collapsing fist. The power of this collapsing fist was quite terrifying. Collapsing fist was an earth-tier martial art. Lin Feng wanted to use this earth-tier martial art to catch the skinny mercenary off guard. Bang! The two of them clashed fiercely. The skinny mercenary didn't move an inch, but Lin Feng was sent flying like a kite with a broken string. He felt his blood and qi churn, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned pale. This skinny cultivator was too strong. He was so tyrannical that it made people feel despair. Brat, your strength is not bad. No wonder the young master was killed by you. However, do do you think that you can do anything to me with your strength? Today, I'll let you know how big the gap is between an ant and a dragon. As soon as he finished speaking, the skinny mercenary once again rushed towards Lin Feng. He immediately used the 100 Steps Divine Fist. Even from a distance, Lin Feng could feel the powerful might of the 100 Steps Divine Fist. This move was too terrifying. It was so oppressive that Lin Feng felt like he couldn't breathe. This was the power of the 100 Steps Divine Fist. Facing such a powerful attack, Lin Feng was speechless. He stepped forward, and at the same time, used his devouring martial spirit to create a spatial magnetic field to restrict the skinny mercenary's movements. At the same time, Lin Feng also used the Great Heaven Covering Hand. This was basically Lin Feng's trump card. Lin Feng didn't hold back in the battle with the skinny mercenary. He knew that if he held back, he might die in this person's hands. This guy wouldn't show any mercy. Spatial magnetic field. The wind blew, and the clouds flew. Lin Feng used two types of absolute martial arts together. The skinny mercenary was immediately enveloped by Lin Feng's spatial magnetic field. What kind of move is this? The skinny mercenary was shocked. Obviously, he didn't expect Lin Feng to have such a strange move. A move that will take your life. Lin Feng was cold. He stepped forward and used the Great Heaven Covering Hand to attack. A palm struck towards the skinny mercenary. But at this time, the skinny mercenary sneered. "Kid, you think you can deal with me with just this move? You're really stupid." As his voice fell, the skinny mercenary stepped forward. This made Lin Feng extremely shocked. Even the spatial magnetic field couldn't restrict this person. This person's cultivation was too powerful. The skinny mercenary used Fierce Dragon crossing the river. That terrifying fist struck towards Lin Feng. Bang! Both sides clashed once again. Lin Feng was directly sent flying, and his spatial magnetic field was also broken. This skinny mercenary's strength should be over 60 million Jin. It was too terrifying, and there was no way to resist. Lin Feng pulled out his black dragon sword and attacked the skinny mercenary again. The skinny mercenary sneered. He took out his long blade and attacked Lin Feng. Clang! The blade and sword collided, creating a clanging sound. Both sides clashed. That tyrannical power was simply enough to destroy heaven and earth. Lin Feng felt an earth-shattering power entering his body. This was the power emitted from the skinny mercenary's body. It was too powerful, to the point that Lin Feng couldn't bear it. Lin Feng was sent flying. At this time, the skinny mercenary quickly rushed over, waving his long blade, wanting to kill Lin Feng. At this moment, Lin Feng felt the threat of death. That aura of death was so dense that it enveloped his entire body. "Kid, die." The skinny mercenary sneered and chopped down. Lin Feng was about to be killed. Suddenly, the skinny mercenary let out a mournful scream. My head is about to split open. Little bastard, what evil technique did you use to actually cause such great damage to me? I'm going to kill you. Kill you." The skinny mercenary let out a mournful roar. His expression was ferocious, and his face was distorted. Just now, at the moment of life and death, Lin Feng used his unique skill, Soul Sword. This soul sword specialized in restraining souls. Caught off guard, the skinny mercenary was hit. He was hit by Lin Feng's soul sword. Although Lin Feng's soul sword wasn't able to directly destroy the skinny mercenary's soul, it still caused him a lot of damage. Lin Feng seized this opportunity and rushed forward, directly arriving in front of the skinny mercenary. He punched the skinny mercenary's chest. Bang! That incomparably powerful punch directly landed on the skinny mercenary's chest. Crack, crack. Then, the sound of bones cracking could be heard. The skinny mercenary's chest caved in from Lin Feng's punch. The skinny mercenary fell to the ground, spitting out a large amount of blood from his mouth. That blood was mixed with many pieces of his internal organs. The skinny mercenary fell to the ground, already dead. His eyes were wide open before he died. Obviously, he didn't die in peace. This powerful mercenary couldn't believe that he would die in the hands of a teenager. Chapter 131. The imperial capital, the Dragon City, was bustling with activity. The streets were wide, and on both sides of the street were rows upon rows of shops, hawking their wares endlessly. The imperial capital was a country's financial and administrative center, not something a small city like the Green Cloud City could compare to. The Azure Dragon Institute was the cradle for nurturing strong cultivators, a place that countless people dreamed of entering. A delicate and pretty young man arrived at the Azure Dragon Institute. This young man was none other than Lin Feng, who rushed to the Azure Dragon Institute to register. Many students walked in and out of the Azure Dragon Institute. These students were all in high spirits. Then again, it was normal. Being a student of the Azure Dragon Institute, this identity was enough to be proud of. Lin Feng inquired about the exact location of the registration office and headed in the direction of the Azure Dragon Institute's registration office. Inside the Azure Dragon Institute, students were scattered in twos and threes, chatting as they walked, their faces brimming with youthful smiles. Compared to Lin Feng's life and death experience in the desolate forest, this was a completely different world. "Brother, are you here to register as well?" Suddenly, a voice sounded from behind. Lin Feng turned around and saw a young man around 17 to 18 years old, wearing a brocade robe, looking quite handsome. Most likely, he was also a young master from an aristocratic family. Lin Feng nodded. "That's right. I'm here to register." "What a coincidence. I'm here to register as well. My name is Zhang Pingfan. How should I address this brother?" Zhang Pingfan asked, smiling. "This one is Lin Feng. Nice to meet you." "Nice to meet you." Lin Feng cupped his fists in greeting. Students tended to stick together, especially new students. If they didn't stick together, they would be bullied miserably by the older students. Of course, you could choose not to stick together with other new students, but you needed to have some background. If there was a powerful older student protecting you, no one would bully you. But if there wasn't, then you could only be bullied. "Brother Lin, where are you from?" Zhang Pingfan asked with a smile. "Green Cloud City's Lin family." Lin Feng answered. "I'm from East Sea City's Zhang family." Zhang Pingfan said. The East Sea City was one of the 16 main cities of the Zhenwu country. The Zhang family was the city lord's aristocratic family, an ancient family with a heritage of more than 1,700 years. Lin Feng didn't think that Zhang Pingfan would have such an extraordinary background. As if he knew what Lin Feng was thinking, Zhang Pingfan smiled wryly and said, "Even though I'm also a member of the Zhang clan, my father passed away when I was young, and my mother raised me with great difficulty. In the Zhang clan, I'm considered a branch disciple." Lin Feng nodded. He was well aware of the terrible relationship between the side branch disciples and the main branch disciples in these large clans. Under normal circumstances, the direct descendants looked down on the collateral descendants. Looking at Zhang Pingfan's expression, it was obvious that Zhang Pingfan had encountered the same situation. Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan arrived at the registration area. Today was the second day of registration, so there weren't many people. "Show your identity medallion," the teacher in charge of enrollment said. Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan both took out their identity medallions and registered. Then, the institute teacher assigned them their living quarters. Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan were assigned to the same courtyard. It was a small courtyard with only the two of them living in it, quiet and secluded. "Take these 2 bottles of medicinal pellets. These are high-grade yellow-rank great dragon pellets. As the name suggests, after consuming them, if you have dragon force, it can greatly increase your strength. Make good use of this opportunity because 10 days later, you will be participating in the new student assessment. Do your best in the assessment and strive for a good result. It will be of great help to you in the Azure Dragon Institute." The teacher said. "Yes, this student will remember." Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan said. "Good, you two can go." The teacher said. Lin Feng bid farewell to Zhang Pingfan and Zhang Pingfan, then walked out of the courtyard. Zhang Pingfan said, "I didn't expect there to be such a high-grade great dragon pellet just after arriving at the Azure Dragon Institute. It's said that these great dragon pellets are a secret recipe unique to the Azure Dragon Institute, controlled by the Alchemy Pavilion's Pavilion Master. Great dragon pellets are priceless outside. One great dragon pellet's effect is equivalent to 100 vigorous dragon pellets. In other academies, the vigorous dragon pellets formula is based on the great dragon pellet, but the effect is much worse. This Azure Dragon Institute really isn't something those lower academies can compare to. Lin Feng nodded, saying, "That's right. This Azure Dragon Institute is really generous, giving out a bottle of great dragon pellets right off the bat. If we can get a good result in the new student assessment, I wonder how generous the rewards will be." Zhang Pingfan's eyes lit up with hope, saying, "Every batch of new students will be separated out during the assessment. Those with outstanding results can enter the inner courtyard's genius camp to cultivate, whereas those with average results can only cultivate in the outer courtyard. The difference between heaven and earth is like heaven and earth, two different treatments. It's the same everywhere. The strong are respected. Even the Azure Dragon Institute will only focus on nurturing a group of geniuses, and the majority of the new students won't receive the same treatment as those geniuses." Lin Feng explained, Brother Lin, what breed is this pet of yours? Why is it so strange?" Zhang Pingfan looked at the fire Qilin standing beside Lin Feng. In the next moment, a miserable scream rang out as Zhang Pingfan was sent flying by the fire Qilin's claw. Obviously, the fire Qilin was dissatisfied with the way Zhang Pingfan addressed it. Not to mention that this fellow seemed to have recovered quite a bit of its strength, no longer as weak as when it was devoured by the devil bead. "Brother Zhang, are you all right?" Lin Feng quickly helped Zhang Pingfan up. Zhang Pingfan crawled to his feet, smiling embarrassedly. I'm fine. It's my bad mouth. Didn't I see that this person is a great lord? The fire Qilin arrogantly walked past the two of them, causing Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan to roll their eyes. Wasn't this fellow a little too arrogant? The two of them chatted and laughed as they walked back to their residence. At this time, 5 students dashed out from the forest in the distance, looking at Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan with greedy eyes. As senior students of the Azure Dragon Institute, they naturally knew how precious the bottle in the student's hand was. The leading student looked to be about 17 or 18 years old, wearing a white robe and looking very handsome. His name was Guizifei, and he sneered, "Juniors, are you two newcomers?" "That's right. Is there anything we can help you with?" Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan nodded, then asked, "Newcomers should know the rules, right?" Guizifei said indifferently, "What rules? We don't really understand. Please enlighten us." Zhang Pingfan said. Guizifei looked at Lin Feng and the bottle in Zhang Pingfan's hand and said, "This is a great dragon pill, right? If you know what's good for you, hand it over." "You want our great dragon pill?" Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan glanced at each other. "Are you deaf? Hurry up and hand over the great dragon pill, or I'll break your legs today." One of the students next to Guizifei said coldly, looking down at Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan. Chapter 132. These 5 people were all senior students. Lin Feng had heard of senior students bullying new students, but he didn't expect that on his first day at the institute, he would be bullied by this group of senior students. "Brother Lin, what should we do? If we don't hand it over, I'm afraid these people won't let us go," Zhang Pingfan said in a low voice, somewhat hesitant. Clearly, Zhang Pingfan was extremely unwilling to hand over the great dragon pill. Of course, no matter who it was, they would be unwilling. The great dragon pellet was a medicinal pellet that could directly increase one's strength. In the outside world, it was priceless. Only the Azure Dragon Institute had it. "Naturally, I won't hand it over." Lin Feng waved the great dragon pellet in his hand, then put it away into his spiritual ring. Watching Lin Feng's action, Guizifei and the others' faces darkened. "Fine, if a man dies, his bird will face the sky. What's there to be afraid of?" Zhang Pingfan gritted his teeth and put away the great dragon pellet. Guizifei and the others' faces became even more gloomy. One of the senior students coldly snorted, "You guys really don't know what's good for you? You actually dared to disobey senior brother Gui's orders. I think you're looking for a beating." Guizifei pointed at Lin Feng. "Give him 3 slaps, teach him how to behave." "Yes, senior brother Gua." One of the senior students immediately stepped out, stopping beside Lin Feng, his right hand raised, aiming for Lin Feng's face. This senior student's attack was swift and fierce. With one look, one could tell that this person was a martial master. Zhang Pingfan cried out, "Brother Lin, be careful." Too late. Daring to disobey senior brother Gui's orders, you're simply courting death. The senior student sneered maliciously. That heavy slap was about to land on Lin Feng's face. Suddenly, Lin Feng moved. Lin Feng moved later but arrived first. Like an agile ape, he leaped forward, arriving in front of the senior student in the blink of an eye. His left hand reached out, grabbing the senior student's neck. The old student screamed as he was grabbed by Lin Feng like a little chick. All the strength in his body seemed to have been shaken away by Lin Feng's grab. His entire body went limp. "Kid, let go of me," the senior student roared angrily. "You still dare to be so arrogant after falling into my hands? Grandson, aren't you being too arrogant?" Lin Feng sneered. He raised his right hand and was about to slap the old student. "Look, isn't that Guo Zifei and the others? It seems like he had a conflict with someone. Guo Zifei is a member of the Blood Dragon Gang. Who would dare to provoke a member of the Blood Dragon Gang? Do they have to eat a bear's heart or leopard's gall? They seem to be new students, right?" There was a flurry of discussion in the surroundings. Many senior students also gathered around to watch the show. Everyone was pointing and whispering. However, the senior students were shocked to see that the new students weren't the ones who had suffered, but Guo Zifei and the others. In addition to the old students who were watching the show, there were also many new students who were watching. Many of these new students had their elixirs snatched away by Guo Zifei's group. At this moment, seeing one of Guo Zifei's old students being defeated by a new student, many of the new students felt that the resentment in their hearts had been vented. "Let's see if you dare," Guo Zifei shouted when he saw Lin Feng about to slap the old student. "Why wouldn't I dare?" Lin Feng sneered. As soon as he finished speaking, a heavy slap landed on the old student's face. Slap. A resounding slap rang out, and the powerful slap landed on the old student's face, causing his face to swell up. You really dared to hit me. You're courting death." The old student who had been slapped by Lin Feng felt like he was going crazy. As a senior student, he was actually slapped in the face by a freshman in front of so many people. This was simply a humiliation. The senior student's eyes were gloomy. If looks could kill, Lin Feng would have been cut into pieces by the senior student's glare. "You still dare to be arrogant in front of me?" More than 10 slaps were delivered in a row. That old student's face was swollen. Lin Feng had slapped him until he looked like a pig's head. "Brat, are you courting death? If he dies, I'll take responsibility," Guo Zifei said coldly. "Yes, senior brother Guo." The 3 old students by Guo Zifei's side suddenly revealed hideous smiles and rushed towards Lin Feng. "Brother Lin, I'll help you." Zhang Pingfan had already thrown caution to the wind. Men should be indomitable and indomitable. Men shouldn't swallow humiliation. As a man, he had to live in an upright and upright manner. He absolutely could not be a coward. They're just a few small fries. "Brother Zhang, you don't have to do anything," Lin Feng said. "All right, Brother Lin, be careful," Zhang Pingfan said. "Brat die." At that moment, the 3 old students were already rushing towards Lin Feng. Boom, boom, boom. The 3 of them raised their fists and attacked Lin Feng. That brat is going to be unlucky. Indeed, he attracted the attacks of 3 old students. I think he'll be beaten half to death. With Guo Yunfei's temper, he might even be able to kill him. Anyway, Guo Yunfei has someone backing him up. No, even though Guo Yunfei has the support of the Blood Dragon Gang, he wouldn't dare kill a freshman so casually. However, he would still dare to break a few of his bones. The old students who were watching the show started discussing. The way they looked at Lin Feng was filled with pity. "Get lost." Lin Feng directly threw out the old student who was beaten half to death. Then, he leaped out and began fighting with the 3 old students. Bang, bang, bang. 3 consecutive punches. Along with the 3 dull sounds of impact, there was a loud bang. Mournful screams echoed in the air. Lin Feng stood on the same spot, not moving an inch. Instead, it was the 3 old students who were sent flying. Everyone's arms were broken by the explosion. Plop, plop, plop. All 3 of them fell to the ground in a sorry state. Each of them was rolling on the ground in pain. So strong. Am I hallucinating? Isn't this freshman too fierce? Gasps sounded from the surrounding crowd. Each and every one of them was looking at the handsome young man with shock. Everyone's mind suddenly trembled. In a world where the strong were revered, the strong would receive attention and respect. It was the same in the Azure Dragon Institute. On the other hand, Guazifei's face was extremely gloomy. He sneered, "Brat, do you know who I am? I'm a member of the Blood Dragon Gang, yet you dare to hit my people. I think you're tired of living. I'll give you a chance. Kneel in front of me, slap yourself 10 times, kowtow 10 times, then hand over the Great Dragon Core. Otherwise, I'll cripple you today." Chapter 133. Guazifei was an arrogant person. Not to mention his extraordinary status, he didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. Now, he wanted Lin Feng to kneel on the ground and kowtow in apology. He wanted to ruthlessly humiliate Lin Feng. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. "Who do you think you are? How dare you be so rude to me? So what if you're from the Blood Dragon Gang? I only know that this is the Azure Dragon Institute, not the Blood Dragon Gang's territory. This guy is in trouble, daring to look down on the Blood Dragon Gang. They're one of the 5 biggest forces in our institute. Offending them won't end well. That's right, that brat is out of luck." Although Guazifei isn't a core member of the Blood Dragon Gang, his elder brother is one of the top 3 figures in the Blood Dragon Gang. Now, that brat offended Guazifei. He's simply courting death. He's a new student after all. He doesn't know how powerful the Blood Dragon Gang is. But in my opinion, Guazifei won't dare to kill him. At most, he'll injure him heavily. This can be considered as learning from one's mistakes. Many students in the surroundings were discussing fervently, looking at Lin Feng with pity in their eyes. These senior students were well aware of how terrifying the Blood Dragon Gang was. The Azure Dragon Institute was an intricate and complicated place. Not only was it the cradle of true martial countries experts, it was also the place where the country's major forces competed. Even the royal family's forces were mixed in. Inside the Azure Dragon Institute, there were many forces formed by students, and within these forces, there were various kinds of geniuses. However, if one looked carefully, one would know that the forces behind these geniuses were often allies. Therefore, the Azure Dragon Institute's major forces, such as the Blood Dragon Gang, were all supported by some of true martial countries' major forces. Their strength was not to be underestimated. Good. There's actually someone who doesn't put my Blood Dragon Gang in his eyes in the Azure Dragon Institute, truly courting death. Brat, watch how I'll deal with you today." Guazifei was so angry that he laughed instead. He threw a punch at Lin Feng. The tyrannical power caused a series of explosions. Lin Feng instantly sensed the strength of this person. He had a strength of about 5 million kilograms, and his strength was around the 5th layer of the Martial Master realm. At this age, he was already considered quite powerful. Guazifei has made his move. That Guazifei is at the 5th heavenly layer of the Martial Master realm. He possesses 5 million kilograms of strength. Within this realm, Guazifei is an outstanding figure. Although that brat is powerful, compared to Guazifei, there should still be a large gap. Yeah, Guazifei is personally taking action. That brat is done for. Around them, there was a burst of discussion. Many students shook their heads and sighed. It was as if they could see the scene of Lin Feng being beaten half to death by Guazifei. In the eyes of these old students, Lin Feng was still too impulsive. Going against a tyrannical old student like Guazifei, he would definitely suffer a great loss. However, some of the old students were also new students. Among them, some had suffered great losses in their early years. When they were cultivating in the lower academies, they were all outstanding figures. When they came to the Azure Dragon Institute, they were forced to hand over precious medicinal pellets distributed by the Institute. These proud new students naturally wouldn't agree. This kind of conflict would occur every time the new students were recruited. More often than not, it was the new students who suffered miserably, being bullied miserably. Facing Guazifei's powerful attack, Lin Feng made his move. Lin Feng's attack was very casual. In his eyes, Guazifei was merely a small character. Bang! An ordinary punch flew out, colliding with Guazifei's attack. Everyone saw that Lin Feng didn't move an inch from where he stood, whereas it was Guazifei who was sent flying. That tyrannical force violently shook Guazifei's body. Guo Zifei vomited a mouthful of blood in midair. His face was as pale as a sheet of paper. How is this possible? Voices of disbelief resounded in the surroundings. Everyone's gaze was fixed on the young man in the middle of the stage, as if they had seen a ghost. Before this, who would have thought that this young man could actually beat the insufferably arrogant Guo Zifei to the point of vomiting blood? This. Many of the old students began to speak incoherently. Guo Zifei was a 5th heavenly layer martial master. But now, he was defeated by a new student in one move. Wasn't this new student too powerful? Ah, little beast, you're courting death, I want your life. When had Guo Zifei ever suffered such a great humiliation? His originally handsome face was distorted. He roared and directly pounced towards Lin Feng. Right now, Guo Zifei only had one thought in his mind, and that was to ruthlessly humiliate Lin Feng. He wanted to defeat Lin Feng, trample Lin Feng under his feet, and humiliate Lin Feng to his heart's content in front of so many people. Only in this way would he be able to wash away the humiliation that Lin Feng had just brought to him. Rushing Thunder Fist. Guo Zifei laughed sinisterly and directly rushed towards Lin Feng. The wind from his fist whistled like rolling thunder. The power of this fist was incomparably terrifying. Middle Profound Ranked Martial Art. Rushing Thunder Fist. Guo Zifei is serious. That kid probably won't be able to hold on. The surrounding students recognized the martial art that Guo Zifei was using and immediately cried out in alarm. A profound ranked martial art could already allow one to challenge someone of a higher rank. Facing Guo Zifei's incomparably powerful attack, Lin Feng still only used an ordinary fist. Bang! Lin Feng and Guo Zifei collided once again, and everyone saw it. Guo Zifei flew backwards like a kite with a broken string. The arm that had collided with Lin Feng was twisted, and Guo Zifei, who was still in midair, let out an incomparably mournful scream. Brother, you're awesome. Zhang Pingfan looked at Lin Feng with incomparable shock. They were both new students, but when Lin Feng attacked Guo Zifei, Zhang Pingfan knew that there was a large gap between him and Lin Feng. Too savage. There's actually such a powerful person among this year's new students, and he was even met by Guo Zifei. This is interesting. The surrounding students looked as if they had seen a ghost. They were all dumbstruck as they looked at the handsome young man in the middle of the field. There were also many people who had a gloating expression. Guo Zifei had always relied on the support of the Blood Dragon Gang and had always been arrogant in the academy, so he was very unpopular. Seeing Guo Zifei's miserable appearance, many students felt a burst of joy in their hearts. Lin Feng didn't intend to let Guo Zifei go. He wanted to teach Guo Zifei a lesson. Of course, Lin Feng's purpose in doing this was to warn the old students not to provoke him. Lin Feng quickly rushed towards Guo Zifei and threw a punch towards Guo Zifei. Impudent. But at that moment, an incomparably cold voice suddenly resounded. A ghostly figure appeared in front of Lin Feng and Guo Zifei, and a palm attack was thrown towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng revealed a dignified expression. The person who had attacked actually made him feel pressured. Chapter 134. The Azure Dragon Institute was indeed a place filled with crouching tigers and hidden dragons, producing geniuses in large numbers. The person who attacked gave Lin Feng a strong pressure. Obviously, this person's strength had reached the 8th heavenly layer of the Martial Master realm, or even higher. Lin Feng had no choice but to give up on dealing with Guo Zifei and turn to face the person who attacked. Bang! Lin Feng and the person who attacked fiercely collided. Thump, 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 thump. The moment the two collided, Lin Feng felt an earth-shattering force rushing into his body. That force forced Lin Feng to stagger back more than a dozen steps before stopping. Brother Lin, are you all right? Zhang Pingfan asked worriedly from the side. Lin Feng waved his hand, saying, I'm fine. His sharp gaze fell on the person who attacked him. It was a young master in white, his white robe fluttering in the wind, handsome and extraordinary. At this moment, there was a trace of coldness on his face. Among the new students, there aren't many who can withstand one attack from me, Song Zhanyuan. No wonder a mere new student like you dares to be so presumptuous. Turns out, you do have some ability. Song Zhanyuan. It's actually Song Zhanyuan. He's a disciple of the Genius Camp. One of the top 100 geniuses of the Genius Camp. This time that kid is out of luck. Offending a disciple of the Genius Camp. I'm afraid he won't be able to bear the consequences. That's right, the Genius Camp disciples are all monstrous characters, especially the top 100 geniuses. Some of them are even in the Hotian realm. This Song Zhanyuan is an elder of the Blood Dragon Gang. His seniority is very high, and his status is also very high. Now, he actually appeared in the outer courtyard. Guizifei is a member of the Blood Dragon Gang, and the Blood Dragon Gang always seeks revenge for the smallest grievance. Since Guizifei suffered a loss in Lin Feng's hands, he definitely won't let it go. That's right. Those who offend the Blood Dragon Gang don't have a good ending. That kid just entered the Institute and already offended the Blood Dragon Gang. In my opinion, he's most likely done for. In the future, he won't be able to move an inch in the Institute. Many students in the surroundings were discussing. I don't think that I've done anything wrong. Do you think that I should just stand here and let the Blood Dragon Gang beat me up when the Blood Dragon Gang beat me up? What a joke. When you bully others, you should be prepared to be bullied. Lin Feng said tit for tat. Brat, you've been humiliated by my Blood Dragon Gang. It's your good fortune from your previous life. How dare you resist? He's simply courting death. Song Zhanyuan sneered. Hearing Song Zhanyuan's words, Lin Feng's face darkened. He had seen arrogant and despotic people, but he had never seen someone as arrogant as Song Zhanyuan. What a joke. So what if you're from the Blood Dragon Gang? It's just a student organization. Lin Feng sneered. Brat, you deserve to die 10,000 times because of what you've just said. However, killing between students is forbidden in the Institute. How about this? I won't kill you. I'll beat you until you kneel down and beg for mercy. I'll beat you until you kneel down in front of me and kowtow 100 times. It'll be a lesson for you. Song Zhanyuan's body flickered as he moved towards Lin Feng. He was about to attack Lin Feng. Lin Feng sneered. Song Zhanyuan was strong, but he wasn't a Hotian realm cultivator. Lin Feng wasn't completely powerless. When Lin Feng was about to use the Devouring the Heavens demonic skill, a cold voice suddenly sounded. The Blood Dragon Gang is so powerful. Have you fallen to the point where you only know how to bully new students? The voice sounded. A ghostly silhouette appeared in front of Lin Feng. That ghostly silhouette attacked Song Zhanyuan with his palm. Bang! The two of them collided. Thump, thump, thump. Both Song Zhanyuan and the ghostly silhouette were forced back 3 steps. Clearly, their strength was on par. At this time, Lin Feng also saw the newcomer. It was a woman dressed in blue. Her figure was curvaceous, perfectly proportioned. She had a pair of long, slender legs and a cold expression on her exquisite face. Lin Feng didn't know this woman, nor did he know why she would help him. Lung Qiushuang, one of the top 100 students in the Genius Camp, an elder of the Wind Snow School. Could it be that this brat knows Lung Qiushuang? Otherwise, why would Lung Qiushuang help him? The cultivators in the surroundings whispered among themselves. The Azure Dragon Institute wasn't just a place for cultivation. There were also various forces scattered around. Blood Dragon Gang, Wind Snow School, Drizzle Building, Wild Tiger Gang, and Thunder Heaven Sect. These were the 5 major forces of the Azure Dragon Institute. All of them were established by the top 10 heaven-defying geniuses of the Azure Dragon Institute. Behind these 5 forces were the shadows of various big families and clans. Therefore, it wasn't just the student forces, it also involved the forces behind them. Because of this, the 5 forces were at odds with each other, like fire and water. However, under normal circumstances, the 5 forces coexisted peacefully. Lin Feng, are you all right? Just as Lin Feng was wondering why Lung Qiushuang would help him, a voice sounded. Following that, a young noble clad in brocade robes walked out. It was none other than Lin Feng's good brother, Su Zimo. Su Zimo was the only one among Lin Feng's close friends who passed the Azure Dragon Institute's assessment. He had also joined the Azure Dragon Institute to further his studies. Since the Lin family and Su family were in an alliance, Su Zimo and Su Zimo were very close. I'm fine. Lin Feng shook his head. Song Zhanyuan's expression was gloomy as he looked at Lung Qiushuang. What? Your Wind Snow School wants to interfere with my Blood Dragon Gang's matters? So what if we interfere? Long Qiushuang coldly retorted. This woman had always been cold and domineering in the Azure Dragon Institute, not giving Song Jianyuan any face. Then I'd like to experience your autumn wind falling snow palm. Let's see if it's better than my blood dragon fist. Song Jianyuan sneered, taking a step forward. You can give it a try. Long Qiushuang was unafraid. All of you, stop. Right at this time, a cold voice sounded as an old man walked over. Vice Principal. Seeing this old man, all the students' expressions became respectful. What are you Genius Camp disciples doing during the new students' enrollment period? Quickly return to the Genius Camp to cultivate. The old man's cold voice sounded. Yes. Long Qiushuang and Song Jianyuan dared not disobey. The old man nodded and turned to leave. Song Jianyuan sneered as he looked at Lin Feng. Brat, consider yourself lucky this time. The next time we meet, I'll beat you until you're on your knees begging for mercy. Let's go. Song Jianyuan waved his hand and led the members of the Blood Dragon Gang away. But right at this time, a cold voice sounded. Good. I'll wait. When the time comes, let's see who's the one begging for mercy. Chapter 135. Song Jianyuan's venomous eyes glanced at Lin Feng, sneering before leaving with the group. Seeing that there was no more drama to watch, the surrounding students dispersed. Thank you, senior sister. Lin Feng cupped his fists. You don't need to thank me. I helped you because of Zimo. All right, I won't disturb you two from catching up. Long Qiushuang turned around and left. Who is this Long Qiushuang? After Long Qiushuang left, Lin Feng looked at Su Zimo. Su Zimo chuckled. She's my cousin. Lin Feng rubbed his chin. Your cousin is quite pretty. Su Zimo rolled his eyes. I'm warning you. Don't even think about hitting on my cousin. What kind of person do you take me for? Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. Then, Lin Feng introduced Su Zimo and Zhang Pingfan to each other. Thus both sides were considered to be acquaintances. The three of them arrived at Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan's dormitory. Lin Feng asked, Where do you live now? Su Zimo answered, I live in the Eastern District. You live in the Western District. It seems like we'll have to split up. The Azure Dragon Institute is divided into the East, South, West, and West districts, also known as the 4 courtyards. The students of these 4 courtyards live separately and cultivate separately. Lin Feng added, In this year's new disciple assessment, those with excellent results can enter the Genius Camp to cultivate. That's right. Every time there's a new disciple recruitment, there will be geniuses joining the Azure Dragon Institute. These geniuses' starting point is different from ordinary people. Little Feng, with your talent, you can definitely enter the Genius Camp. As for me, I don't even want to think about it. Even if I'm lucky enough to enter, it won't be long before I'm kicked out. Su Zimo shook his head. Su Zimo's talent wasn't particularly outstanding, and his heart wasn't focused on cultivation. The reason he joined the Azure Dragon Institute this time was to befriend more influential people. In the future, when Su Zimo became the Su family's patriarch, he could make use of the connections he made in his youth to expand the Su family's strength and influence. Su Zimo stayed at Lin Feng's place for a while before leaving. Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan also began to tidy up their rooms. Inside the room, there were also some sect benefits, some simple talismans such as the Clearwater Talisman, Igniting Talisman, etc. Although they were simple, they were very useful. There were also 3 sets of Azure Dragon Institute's disciple robes and other miscellaneous items. There were more than 10 different types of items. One particular book attracted Lin Feng's attention. It was called Mountain River List. Lin Feng flipped through the pages and found that the Mountain River List introduced some of the Azure Dragon Institute's genius students. Every genius student had a detailed introduction. Other than that, there was also information about the Blood Dragon Gang and other forces. For example, the founder of the Blood Dragon Society was called Shuelong, and it was rumored that he had devoured the bloodline of dragons. The founder of the Wind Snow School was Lu Fengxue, who was also one of the top 10 in the inner yard. The Wind Snow School she founded only recruited female students, not male students. The founder of the Drizzle Building was called Wang Shiyu. He was a very mysterious figure. The founder of the Wild Tiger Gang, Helian Kuang Hu, was known for his savagery and ruthlessness. The founder of the Thunder Heaven sect, Huang Fu Lei Xiao, was rumored to be one of the top 3 in the Azure Dragon Institute. It was said that he was able to fight on par with a martial general realm master, a terrifying existence. Lin Feng read through the Mountain River list, and his heart was filled with astonishment. There were indeed a lot of experts listed on the Mountain River list, worthy of being the Azure Dragon Institute's genius concentration camp. After reading through the Mountain River list, Lin Feng took out the great dragon pellets distributed by the Institute. These profound grade pellets were incomparably precious, containing an extremely pure energy. Lin Feng swallowed 10 great dragon pellets and refined them. In an instant, a majestic sea of pure energy exploded within his body. Lin Feng began to circulate the immemorial dragon-esque elephant skill, absorbing the pure energy in his body. 3 hours later, the 10 great dragon pellets' medicinal efficacy was fully absorbed by Lin Feng. Lin Feng was in high spirits. A sharp light flashed in his eyes from time to time, worthy of being a profound grade pellet. After swallowing 10 great dragon pellets, I can feel the true qi in my body becoming more condensed. If I can take 10 great dragon pellets every day, I might be able to break through to 4th heavenly layer martial master very soon. However, these great dragon pellets were too precious. To obtain them was not an easy task. No wonder the older students would snatch the new students' great dragon pellets. However, using this method to obtain great dragon pellets was too despicable. Lin Feng temporarily settled down in his residence. The next half a month was the registration period for new students. 20 days later, the Azure Dragon Institute would hold the new students' assessment. The new students' assessment was highly regarded by everyone, for it was a chance to join the genius camp. As the days passed, the new students' registration period ended, and the new students' assessment was about to begin. Many of the new students were excitedly discussing the first assessment to enter the Azure Dragon Institute. One afternoon, Zhang Pingfan came to Lin Feng's room, saying, "Brother Lin, tomorrow is the new students' assessment. I heard that during the assessment, we will be placed in an ancient forest, and some of the Azure Dragon Institute's older students will appear to obstruct us. Moreover, every year during the assessment, there will be a famous Mountain River list older student overseeing the assessment." What? An expert on the Mountain River list? Doesn't that mean that the new students have no chance of passing? Lin Feng was astounded. He had seen Song Zhanyuan and Lung Qiushuang at the bottom of the Mountain River list. Both of them were so powerful. With such existences overseeing the assessment, wanting to pass was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. That's right, That's why new students often form a small team and launch an attack. Perhaps they might succeed. Zhang Pingfan explained. So that's how it is. Lin Feng nodded. Zhang Pingfan continued. Today, I'm here to invite Brother Lin to come with me to meet a few people. All of them are geniuses with great strength. If we join their team, our chances of entering the inner courtyard will greatly increase. Lin Feng nodded. Good. Are we going now? Yes, Brother Lin. Come with me, Zhang Pingfan said. The two of them exited the room. Zhang Pingfan led Lin Feng to the new students' training grounds. In this period of time, many new geniuses had been training hard, preparing to display their prowess in the assessment. On the training grounds, there were more than 100 people. Zhang Pingfan led Lin Feng to a tall and handsome young noble. Beside this young noble were 6 to 7 geniuses, but it was obvious that these people were all following this young noble's lead. This is my roommate, Lin Feng. He also hopes to join the team to participate in the assessment, Zhang Pingfan said to the young noble. The young noble turned his head to look at Lin Feng, his eyes revealing a trace of disdain. Surnamed Lin? In Arjunwu country, there doesn't seem to be any powerful family with the surname Lin, right? Zhang Pingfan, I allowed you to join my team because you came from a branch of the Zhang family. Who does this brat think he is? A brat from a small family, what qualifications does he have to join my team? Get lost. Chapter 136. Listening to this person's mocking words, as if he was scolding his own servant, Lin Feng's face darkened. This young master was called Zhang Zhihuang, a young master of the Zhang family's main branch. His cultivation was strong, and among the younger generation, he had quite a bit of prestige. The Zhang family was one of the top families in true martial country, famous even in the true martial country. Therefore, he had gathered a group of young geniuses around him. Third cousin, Lin Feng is my brother. How can you speak to him like that? Zhang Pingfan's expression was ugly. After all, he was the one who recommended Lin Feng, and now, Zhang Jihuang was humiliating Lin Feng, not giving him any face. Zhang Pingfan, what? Do you think that after joining the Azure Dragon Institute, your wings have grown and you can shout at me? Don't forget your identity. If it weren't for my Zhang family's nurturing, you'd still be an apprentice in the shop. Would you be where you are today? Zhang Jihuang said coldly. Me? Zhang Pingfan's face flushed red with anger, but he had no way to refute. Lin Feng didn't want to make things difficult for Zhang Pingfan, saying, Brother Zhang, don't mind this matter. Some people think too highly of themselves. Even if they wanted me to join, I wouldn't. I'll take my leave first. Lin Feng turned and was about to leave when Zhang Jihuang suddenly sneered, Brat, did I say you could leave? What? Do you still have something to say? Lin Feng sneered, looking at Zhang Jihuang. You dare to say this young master thinks too highly of himself? Who do you think you are? How dare you slander this young master? Slap yourself 10 times and I'll spare you. Otherwise, I'll break your dog legs. Zhang Jihuang said coldly, looking down at Lin Feng with an arrogant expression. Lin Feng looked glum. A moment before, when Zhang Jihuang had told him to piss off, Lin Feng had almost attacked him, but because of Zhang Pingfan, Lin Feng had controlled himself. Now that Zhang Jihuang had given him an inch and wanted a foot, Lin Feng couldn't bear it anymore. Lin Feng smiled coldly. Zhang Jihuang, who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like that? What a joke. Brat, you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit? Zhang Jihuang's face revealed a sinister expression. Look, there's a conflict over there. That's Zhang Jihuang from the Zhang family, right? The Zhang family is one of the top families in our Jinwu country. It is said that Zhang Jihuang's strength has already broken through to the 7th layer of the martial master realm and is unfathomable. Who is that kid? How did he offend Zhang Jihuang? I vaguely heard that he was called Lin Feng, the Lin family of the Jinwu country. There doesn't seem to be a big family with such a surname in the Jinwu country, right? I'm guessing he's from a small family and hasn't seen the world. Now that he offended Zhang Jihuang, he's out of luck. That Zhang Jihuang isn't a broad-minded person. He definitely won't show any mercy. That kid is really pitiful. Having just joined the Azure Dragon Institute, he already offended a character like Zhang Jihuang. Discussions broke out in the surroundings. Many people looked at Lin Feng with pity in their eyes, as if they could already see Lin Feng being beaten half to death by Zhang Jihuang's group. Hee, you really think you're someone important. In fact, you're nothing but a fart. Lin Feng glared coldly at Zhang Jihuang, scolding him without any trace of politeness. Zhang Jihuang was instantly enraged. Brat, daring to scold this young master. You must have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. Teach this brat a good lesson for me. Let him know that there are some people that a small family like him can't afford to offend. Yes. Beside Zhang Jihuang, a tall young man answered and stepped out. Zhang Zhilong is also a Zhang family disciple, a second heavenly stage martial master. It's said that this person is vicious and merciless. In the previous conflict, he even broke the other party's tendons. With Zhang Zhilong personally making a move, that brat is probably going to be miserable. These people won't dare to kill him. At most, they'll humiliate him and beat him up. Just entered the Azure Dragon Institute and already being humiliated and beaten up. Does he still have the face to continue staying in the institute? Many of the spectating students shook their heads, looking at Lin Feng with pity. At this time, Zhang Zhilong had already arrived in front of Lin Feng, a sinister grin on his face. What kind of plaything is this, daring to act so unappreciative in front of young Master Jihuang? See if this daddy doesn't slap you to death. Zhang Zhilong raised his palm, aiming for Lin Feng's face. If this slap landed, Lin Feng's face would be smashed to smithereens. Many people cried out in alarm. Some of them could already foresee the scene of Lin Feng being slapped half to death. Zhang Zhilong's powerful slap was about to land on Lin Feng's face, but right at this time, Lin Feng also made his move. Shua! Lin Feng's silhouette flickered, His speed was faster than Zhang Zhilong's. His palm slapped toward Zhang Zhilong's face. Pa! This slap ruthlessly landed on Zhang Zhilong's face. Everyone saw that Zhang Zhilong's huge body was sent flying. Wah! In midair, Zhang Zhilong spurted out large mouthfuls of blood. His face was almost destroyed by Lin Feng's slap. Chapter 137. Zhang Zhilong was sent flying with a single slap. Heavens, is that kid that strong? Zhang Zhilong is a second celestial layer martial master, but he was sent flying. What's that kid's cultivation? Cries of disbelief could be heard all around. Before this, almost no one was optimistic about Lin Feng. They all thought that Lin Feng would be beaten half to death by Zhang Zhilong, but the situation had taken a dramatic turn. Ah, my face! Zhang Zhilong fell to the ground, covered his face, and let out an incomparably shrill scream. Blood was still flowing out of his mouth and nose. Just a moment ago, he had been arrogant, but in the blink of an eye, he had been beaten half to death by Lin Feng. It had to be said that this was full of drama. Zhang Zhihuang's face suddenly darkened. He sneered and said, "No wonder you dare to challenge me. It turns out that you do have some ability. However, do you think that you can show off in front of me with your little cultivation? You're gravely mistaken. Am I flaunting my prowess? From the beginning, you were the one who was aggressive, and I was just defending myself. But next time, if you want to cause trouble for me, please send a few strong people. This kind of trash has the nerve to come out and make a fool of himself. I'm too lazy to even make a move." Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "Brat, you'll regret your arrogance very soon. Go, break his legs." Zhang Zhihuang sneered. "Yes." The four young experts behind Zhang Zhihuang replied. They usually followed Zhang Zhihuang's lead and obeyed Zhang Zhihuang's words. These people's talents were quite shocking, and their strength was tyrannical. One by one, they jumped out and split into four directions, attacking Lin Feng. They all had hideous smiles on their faces. In their opinion, Lin Feng was dead this time. Boom, 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 boom. The four of them split into four directions and attacked Lin Feng. Every punch was powerful and heavy, and could instantly destroy incomparably hard basalt. For experts besieging him, Lin Feng is in danger now. Many of the onlookers looked at Lin Feng with deep pity in their eyes. At that moment, nobody thought that Lin Feng would be able to withstand the attacks of four extremely strong cultivators. Swoosh! Seeing that the four experts were about to form an encirclement, Lin Feng suddenly moved. Lin Feng's speed was too fast, like a nimble cat jumping, like an afterimage. 4 punches in a row. Bang, 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 bang. 4 consecutive punches collided with the 4 cultivators besieging him. Everybody could see that Lin Feng was standing in his original position, motionless. The 4 people who were fighting against Lin Feng were blown away like kites with their strings cut. Everyone's face was pale. "This is impossible." The 4 cultivators roared in disbelief. The expressions of the onlookers also changed drastically. Powerful, too powerful. Lin Feng's battle prowess had shocked everyone. No matter how big the hole in their brain was, they would never have thought that Lin Feng, a 16 or 17-year-old youth, would be so powerful. The people present were generally around 20 years old. They were indeed a few years older than Lin Feng, but in terms of strength, there was a huge gap between them and Lin Feng. "This kid is very powerful." Zhang Zhihuang has kicked an iron plate. Zhang Zhihuang has indeed underestimated this brat. From what I can see, this brat's strength should be at the 4th or 5th celestial layer. There is still a certain gap between him and Zhang Zhihuang. If Zhang Zhihuang wants to deal with him, it shouldn't be difficult. However, I think that Zhang Zhihuang won't make a move now. After all, this brat isn't an ordinary person. If he makes things too tense, who knows what will happen in the future? Yes, being young is also an advantage. That kid will definitely have extraordinary achievements in the future. Zhang Zhihuang also has to think twice. Some of the onlookers whispered. Seeing that his 4 subordinates had been defeated by Lin Feng in one move, Zhang Zhihuang's eyes sharpened, but soon, a smile appeared on his face. He smiled and said, "I didn't think that Brother Lin's cultivation would be so extraordinary. Brother Lin, you are already qualified to join forces with me." Lin Feng smiled coldly. Are you inviting me to join you? If you think it's an invitation, then it's an invitation, Zhang Jihuang said with a smile. His expression was completely different from his previous arrogant one. This was a world where strength was respected. As long as one displayed enough strength, they would be respected. Just like now, many of the onlookers were looking at Lin Feng with reverence. Everyone was waiting to see how Lin Feng would respond to Zhang Jihuang. They had just had a serious conflict, but now, would they turn weapons of war into gifts of jade and silk? Many people were thinking that if they were in Zhang Jihuang's shoes, they would accept Zhang Jihuang's invitation and forget about the previous unpleasantness. After all, being able to befriend someone like Zhang Jihuang was only beneficial to them. However, they weren't Lin Feng, so they didn't know what Lin Feng was thinking. Lin Feng sneered and said indifferently, I can give you a chance. Kneel on the ground and slap yourself 10 times. Then, I will join your team. How about it? Zhang Jihuang thought that he had misheard and asked in disbelief, What? What are you talking about? What? Don't you understand human language? Lin Feng said indifferently. Boom. At that moment, a burst of noise erupted in the surroundings. Everyone looked at Lin Feng in disbelief. This guy's guts were big, actually daring to humiliate Zhang Jihuang like this. Zhang Jihuang's face was filled with murderous intent. He laughed sinisterly, brat. You actually dare to say such words to this book. I think you're tired of living. Do you think that I don't dare to touch you? Your strength is not bad, but in this young master's eyes, you're still nothing more than an ant. Squashing you to death is something I can do with a flick of my hand. You can try. Lin Feng sneered, not showing the slightest hint of fear. Zhang Jihuang gnashed his teeth in anger, killing intent surged in his eyes, as if he was about to attack. However, in the end, the powerful aura coming from his body disappeared without a trace. A sinister smile appeared on his face. The Azure Dragon Institute has its misgivings when making a move. Tomorrow is the assessment day, and it will last 10 days in an ancient forest. I've heard that every year, the Genius Camp assessment has a death rate. At that time, you better pray you don't meet me, because if you do, you'll die miserably. I'll crush you under my feet like a bug. Chapter 138. They returned to their residence. Zhang Pingfan looked ashamed. Brother Lin, I didn't know that Zhang Jihuang was that kind of person. I'm to blame for what happened today. Lin Feng waved his hand. Brother Zhang had good intentions today, but because of me, there was a rift between you two. Zhang Pingfan said, Brother Lin, please don't think that way. Zhang Jihuang and I aren't related by blood. After this, we'll cut off all contact. Dong, dong, dong. At that moment, someone knocked on the door. Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan opened the door. A man and a woman were standing outside. The man was about 17 or 18 years old. He had sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes. He was extraordinarily handsome. The woman was about the same age. She was wearing a light yellow dress and was extremely beautiful. Who are you looking for? Asked Lin Feng. Brother, I'm Huang Lei, and this is my sister, Huang Ling-er. We've come here today to visit you. Huang Lei said, I'm Lin Feng, and this is Zhang Pingfan. Please don't be so polite. Come in. Lin Feng and Zhang Pingfan led the Huang siblings inside. After arriving at the hall, everyone sat down, and Huang Lei said, We saw what happened at the martial arts practice field today. That Zhang Jihuang is incredibly arrogant and isn't a kind person. My sister and I have formed a team, and we hope that you too can join our team. Lin Feng thought for a moment and said, After what happened today, I don't want to join your team for the time being. However, you can invite Brother Zhang to join. Brother Zhang's strength is extraordinary. Of course, Brother Zhang can join, but Brother Lin rejected us. We're very disappointed, said Huang Ling-er. Huang Ling-er said in a tender voice. She looked delicate, and her voice was also soft. Hearing her voice, one would feel as if their bones were about to melt. It's because of my personal reasons. Please don't take offense. Lin Feng cupped his fists. Huang Lei smiled. Brother Lin, please don't say that. We understand. Huang Ling-er said, Brother Lin, Zhang Jihuang is a vengeful person. Please be careful of him. Thank you for the warning. Lin Feng nodded. After sending off the Huang siblings, several groups of people came to Lin Feng's place to invite Lin Feng to join them. However, they were all rejected by Lin Feng. Now, Lin Feng felt that he was free when he was alone. When there were too many people, there would be too many rules and too much scheming. Azure Dragon Institute, Old Student Residential Area, Gua Zifei's residence. The two young masters arrived at Gua Zifei's residence. Nalan Kuan, what are you doing here? Are you here to laugh at me? Gua Zifei looked at the blue-clothed disciple and couldn't help but snort coldly. The blue-clothed disciple and Gua Zifei were both members of the Blood Dragon Gang. However, the competition within the Blood Dragon Gang was fierce. The two of them had joined the Blood Dragon Gang in the same year and had been secretly competing with each other. Moreover, Nalan Kuan had another identity. He was a young master of the Nalan family in Indigo City. During the battle in Green Cloud City, the Lin and Wang families had joined forces to destroy the Nalan family, which was a branch of the Nalan family. Naturally, the Nalan family was jealous of this matter. Nalan Kuan said, "Brother Gua, you've misunderstood me. I didn't come here to mock Brother Gua, but to cooperate with Brother Gua." Cooperate? Gua Zifei looked at Nalan Kuan with a puzzled expression. He didn't understand what Nalan Kuan meant by cooperation. Nalan Kuan smiled faintly and said, "We'll talk about cooperation later. Right now, let me introduce my friend to Brother Gua." This is? Gua Zifei looked at the white-clothed young master beside Nalan Kuan. This is Ancestor Tsang Hai's last disciple, Bai Xinyan. Nalan Kuan introduced. Hearing the words Ancestor Tsang Hai, Gua Zifei's expression changed slightly. Ancestor Tsang Hai was a famous expert in the East Province. It was said that he had cultivated for 1,800 years and was a supreme figure who looked down on all living things. Many people envied Bai Xinyan for being able to become Ancestor Tsang Hai's last disciple. "Brother Bai, nice to meet you." Gua Zifei cupped his fists and greeted him. "Brother Gua is too polite." Bai Xinyan smiled. After the three of them sat down, Gua Zifei asked, "May I ask why the two of you are here today?" "Brother Gua, the Bai family in Sangaren City has suffered a great blow. The ancestor of the Bai family has fallen. Have you heard that the Bai family was forced to leave Sangaren City?" Nalan Kuan asked. Gua Zifei nodded and said, "I've heard about it, but I don't know the details. It's that little bastard Lin Feng who harmed the Bai family. I want to skin him alive and tear him to pieces." Bai Xuantian's eyes flashed with killing intent. Not only was the Bai family persecuted, but a branch of the Nalan family was also annihilated because of Lin Feng. Nalan Kuan added, killing intent flashing in his eyes as well. "Do the two of you want to take revenge?" Gua Zifei immediately understood what Bai Xinyan and Nalan Kuan were thinking. It could be said that their thoughts coincided with his. Gua Zifei's hatred for Lin Feng was no less than Bai Xinyan and Nalan Kuan's. Gua Zifei had relied on his identity as a core member of the Blood Dragon Gang to act arrogantly in the Azure Dragon Institute. He even dared to steal the Great Dragon Pills from the new students. Many people were angry but didn't dare to say anything. That was until he met Lin Feng. Gua Zifei's first defeat was at the hands of Lin Feng. He was taught a lesson by Lin Feng in front of so many people. For the proud and arrogant Gua Zifei, it was impossible for him to accept this. He dreamed of revenge even in his dreams. Now that the three of them had met, they hit it off immediately. Bai Xinyan said, "That's right. We came to find Brother Gua this time because we plan to join forces with Brother Gua to deal with that little bastard Lin Feng." "Do the two of you have a good idea to deal with Lin Feng?" Gua Zifei asked. After a short pause, Gua Zifei couldn't help but frown. This Lin Feng's methods aren't ordinary. It won't be easy to get rid of him. Moreover, if the Azure Dragon Institute discovers that students are killing each other, the consequences won't be something we can bear. Bai Xinyan said, "Although that's the case, there's an opportunity in front of us." "You're saying?" Gua Zifei seemed to have thought of this opportunity as well, and his eyes lit up. Nalan Kuan nodded and said, "It's the new student assessment. In the vast ancient forest, the three of us should join forces to get rid of Lin Feng. It shouldn't be difficult, right? It's just that we aren't in charge of the new student assessment. I'll go get the new student assessment qualifications. You guys wait for my good news," Gua Zifei said. Nailan Kuan and Bai Xintian were overjoyed. Bai Xintian laughed sinisterly. This time, we'll definitely take that little bastard Lin Feng's life to vent our anger. Nailan Kuan said sinisterly, That's right. This time, that little bastard is dead for sure. Chapter 139. Azure Dragon Institute. True Martial Square. 3,000 new students were gathered here. Ah Feng, have you found a team yet? Su Zimo asked. Lin Feng chuckled. I plan to act alone. Su Zimo smiled wryly. I wanted to pull you into our team, but it seems like there's no hope now. Lin Feng patted Su Zimo's shoulder. Even if I'm not here, you still have to work hard. Haha, don't worry. I'll strive for the best result. Su Zimo said with a smile. Swoosh, right at this time, 3 streaks of light flew out from the depths of the Azure Dragon Institute. The one in the lead was a tall and sturdy old man, and the other 2 were dignified middle-aged men. It's the Genius Camp's vice principal, Helian Changlong, someone exclaimed, recognizing the old man's identity, instantly causing waves of exclamations. The Genius Camp's vice principal was definitely a big shot in the Azure Dragon Institute, an existence that everyone looked up to. Ladies and gentlemen, in this year's assessment, the Genius Camp will recruit 30 genius students according to the assessment results. Once you enter the forest, you will be intercepted by senior students, and you will need to defeat those senior students and snatch away their identity tokens. The final result will be ranked according to the number of identity tokens you have. Helian Changlong's sonorous voice rang out. In an instant, the atmosphere shook the sky. More than 3,000 new students. But the Genius Camp only recruited 30 people. This was too harsh. Many people hung their heads in dejection. Helian Changlong said, Even if you can't enter the Genius Camp this time, don't be disappointed. Every year, the outer courtyard will hold a grand competition, and students with excellent results will still have a chance to enter the Genius Camp to further their studies. This time's assessment results are very important to you. The Azure Dragon Institute's classes are also divided into 3, 6, and 9 grades. The better the assessment results, even if you can't enter the Genius Camp, you'll still be assigned to a better class and have more outstanding teachers to guide you in your cultivation. If your assessment results are poor, then I'm sorry, but students like you can only enter the most ordinary class. Hearing Helian Changlong's words, many people's spirits were lifted, no longer daring to slack off. Those who could enter the Azure Dragon Institute were naturally geniuses from their respective academies, who didn't want to fight for a bright future. However, no one wanted to be a student of the most ordinary class, because once they became a student of the most common class, the moment they entered the Azure Dragon Institute, their starting point would be left far behind. How could they catch up in the future? The gap would only grow bigger and bigger. Helian Changlong was quite satisfied with the students' reactions. He then shouted, All right, let's enter Crouching Dragon Ridge now. The ancient forest where the freshman assessment was held was called Crouching Dragon Ridge. It was located in the northwest of the imperial capital. 3,000 students entered the Crouching Dragon Ridge in batches. Many people were still excitedly discussing the upcoming freshman assessment and the upcoming clash between the old and the new. Some people had worried looks on their faces, while others were eager to give it a try. They wanted to test their own cultivation through the confrontation with the older students. Of course, joining the Genius Barracks was fraught with difficulties. The Azure Dragon Institute's student body numbered in the tens of thousands, but the Genius Barracks only had 800 people. The Genius Barracks consisted of the most outstanding young experts in the true martial country. Moreover, it was rumored that this time's assessment was going to be very difficult because there were several inter-division teams that were extremely terrifying. All of them were well-known figures in the inter-division, experts on the Mountain River list. Led by such experts, the senior students' team was too powerful. No matter how monstrous a new student was, encountering them was almost certain defeat. Thus, many of the new students were praying that they could avoid these terrifying senior students. Inside the ancient forest, there was a boundless atmosphere. Fallen leaves littered the ground. Rustling noises could be heard as Huang Xiaolong walked. Lin Feng sped through the forest. When he passed by an ancient forest, a student jumped down from a big tree in front of him. This student had a strong aura, about 20 years of age. He was looking at Lin Feng with a smile that was not a smile. "You don't look familiar. Are you a newcomer?" Lin Feng did not expect to run into a senior student so soon. He shrugged. "If I said no, would you believe me?" "Of course I wouldn't believe you. You new students, if you defeat a senior student, you can get a token from one of them. The more tokens you get, the richer the institute's rewards will be. As for us seniors, if we defeat you new students, we can also get a token from you. The more tokens we get, the more the institute's rewards will be," the senior student said with a smile, as if he had already eaten Lin Feng. The day before the assessment, the institute indeed gave out a token. It was a wooden token with the words freshman token written on it. Every new student's token was the same. The senior students were given a senior token. If a new student defeated a senior, they could also snatch the senior's senior token. Lin Feng took out the freshman token from his storage ring, waving it in front of the senior student blocking his way. "Are you talking about this token? It's indeed in my hands, but that depends on whether you have the ability to snatch it away. Hee, I didn't expect you to have such a treasure like a storage ring. Now, I'm not just here to snatch the freshman token." The senior student's gaze fell on the storage ring on Lin Feng's waist, revealing a greedy gaze. Swish! That old student moved and immediately threw himself at Lin Feng. His speed was as fast as a flash of lightning. The moment this senior student made his move, Lin Feng sensed that this person's cultivation was around the third heavenly stage of the martial master realm. His speed was extremely fast. Most likely he had practiced some movement skills related to speed. Among the senior students, this person probably had some prestige. No wonder he dared to come out alone. However, although this senior student was strong, there was still a big gap between him and Lin Feng. Facing this senior student's attack, Lin Feng also made his move. Collapsing Fist. Lin Feng did not hold back, using the Earth rank Collapsing Fist right from the start. Even within the Azure Dragon Institute, Earth rank martial arts were considered one of the best. "Brat, you still dare to attack first, really overestimating yourself." A cold sneer appeared on the senior student's face as he swiftly punched out at Lin Feng. Bang! The two of them collided fiercely. Lin Feng did not budge an inch, whereas the senior student was sent flying like a kite with its string cut. His body slammed into a big tree. Pacha! The big tree snapped in half from the middle. The older student also fell to the ground and couldn't move. He looked at Lin Feng with an expression of disbelief. He couldn't believe it. He had the strength of the third celestial chi layer, and surprisingly, he had been defeated by a 16 or 17-year-old student. Lin Feng's expression was cold as he took the senior student's token and swaggered away. Chapter 140. My luck is pretty good. I've just entered Wulong Mountain, and I've already obtained a senior medallion. Lin Feng looked at the medallion in his hand and smiled. Lin Feng wasn't afraid of the senior students who were alone. In fact, to Lin Feng, this was a good opportunity to obtain a senior medallion. In Wulong Mountain, the most terrifying people were the senior students. However, Lin Feng had just entered Wulong Mountain, so it wasn't time for him to fight against the senior students. He flashed through the mountain forest like a nimble ape, leaping about with great agility. After a short time, Lin Feng arrived in front of a pond. The pond was about 100 square meters in size. In the middle of the pond, there were a dozen or so trees. Those were all spiritual fruits. Those fruits contained an incredible amount of spiritual qi. After eating them, one's cultivation would increase. Wulong Mountain is really a precious place. There are even spiritual fruits here. Lin Feng quickly jumped into the water and swam towards the small island in the middle. When he was about to reach the small island, suddenly, a cold qi enveloped his body. Lin Feng had the feeling that he was being stared at by a terrifying beast. Oh no, there's a ferocious beast in the water. Lin Feng's expression changed and he swam faster. Very quickly, he reached the small island. However, the ferocious beast in the water didn't give Lin Feng any more time. Whoosh! The sound of water came from behind, and a gigantic creature jumped out of the water. It was 50 or 60 meters long. It was so big that 4 or 5 people could wrap their arms around it. It was a water python which had become a ferocious beast. It had sensed Lin Feng's qi and started attacking Lin Feng. The anaconda opened its bloody mouth and moved towards Lin Feng to swallow him whole. That bloody mouth emitted a strong stench that was extremely unpleasant to the extreme. What a gigantic, ferocious beast! Lin Feng was stupefied. He shouted in a low voice and moved to the left at full speed, dodging the attack of the python. Then, Lin Feng threw a punch at the ferocious beast. That punch landed on the side of the python's head. After receiving such a heavy attack, the body of the boa boa was pushed back by Lin Feng. However, the python's scales were very thick and its defense was incredible. Even though it had been hit by Lin Feng's attack, it didn't suffer any serious injuries. Instead, it raised its tail and whipped Lin Feng away. Lin Feng had the feeling that his blood and qi were boiling. His bones were emitting crackling sounds. The python had almost broken his bones. Plop! Lin Feng fell on the shore. The python quickly rushed over and opened its mouth again. Its gigantic body was like a mountain. It was heavy and oppressive. That stinking mouth once again tried to swallow Lin Feng. It wanted to eat Lin Feng in one bite. A strong stench came over. The python's gigantic fangs flashed with a chilling aura. Those two fangs were as sharp as spears. The situation was critical. Lin Feng made his move. Shua! With a flash of light, Lin Feng took out the black dragon sword and held it in his hand. When the python was about to swallow him, Lin Feng waved the black dragon sword and slashed it. Poochie! Lin Feng's sword had pierced through the lower jaw of the python. The black dragon sword was a divine sword that could cut through iron like mud. It instantly tore through the python's defense. Blood spurted out. Screech! The demonic python let out an incomparably mournful cry. Its huge body suddenly collapsed and fell into the water. Is it dead? Lin Feng looked at the water and suddenly realized that the python hadn't died. It had just quickly dived into the bottom of the pond. That python had already turned into a ferocious beast and was intelligent. After it had been injured by Lin Feng, it knew that it couldn't compete with Lin Feng, so it had escaped. Lin Feng didn't pay attention to the python. Instead, he went to the island and picked a dozen fruits. There weren't many fruits on those trees, only 20 in total. However, those fruits were releasing an astonishing amount of energy. Lin Feng ate all of the fruits. All of a sudden, he felt waves of tyrannical spiritual qi explode in his body. Lin Feng hurriedly activated the immemorial dragonesque elephant art and began to absorb the spiritual energy in his body. Under the immemorial dragonesque elephant art's transformation, the spiritual energy was turned into a strong force. Lin Feng's cultivation had also risen to the peak of the 4th layer of the martial master realm. He was only a step away from breaking through to the 5th layer of the martial master realm. Lin Feng's face revealed a happy expression. These spirit fruits are really treasures. Unfortunately, there are only 20 or so of them. If there were more, I could even break through to the 5th layer of the martial master realm. Although it was a pity that he could not break through, Lin Feng was already very satisfied. After refining more than 20 fruits, he had saved at least half a year of bitter cultivation. Lin Feng returned the way he came. He was originally worried that the python would attack him. However, the python did not do so. He guessed that its injuries were not light. Lin Feng successfully reached the other side. Before Lin Feng could wring his clothes dry. At this moment, so. 3 silhouettes came out of the forest and surrounded Lin Feng. Seeing these 3 people, Lin Feng's brows slightly raised. Guazifei by Xintian. Nalan Kuan. Lin Feng only knew Guazifei and Bai Xintian. He did not know who Nalan Kuan was. Seeing these 3 people appear, Lin Feng knew that they did not come with good intentions. Moreover, the hatred between Lin Feng and the Bai clan was irreconcilable. Lin Feng, you didn't expect to meet the 3 of us here, did you? A few days ago, you made me suffer all kinds of humiliation. Have you ever thought of the miserable consequences you will face today? Guazifei's face was filled with a sinister smile. Lin Feng sneered. The conflict between you and me is only between students. Is there a need to escalate to the point of killing each other? Guazifei sneered and said, when has this young master ever been humiliated before? If I don't kill you, I won't be able to vent my hatred. Guo Zifei was a vengeful person. Lin Feng was too lazy to say anything more to him. He looked at Nalan Kuan and said indifferently, "Who are you?" Nalan Kuan from the Nalan clan. Nalan Kuan sneered. "I see." Lin Feng nodded. He was not surprised that someone from the Nalan clan would seek revenge from him. After all, the Nalan clan's branch in Qingyun City had been destroyed by the Lin, Wang, and Su clans. The Nalan clan could not afford to offend the Su clan, so they could only seek revenge from the Lin clan. Getting rid of Lin Feng would definitely be a huge blow to the Lin clan. Bai Xintian sneered. "Lin Feng, did you think that you would encounter a situation like this?" Obviously, Bai Xintian thought that he could defeat Lin Feng. Lin Feng shrugged and said, "I didn't expect that." Guo Zifei grinned and said, "There are a few spirit trees on the island in the depths. This brat swam out from the depths of the lake. He must have avoided the demonic python in the lake and picked the spirit fruits." Hearing Guo Zifei's words, Bai Xintian and Nalan Kuan's eyes lit up. Nalan Kuan said sinisterly, "Lin Feng, hand over the spirit fruits, and I'll give you a quick death. If you insist on being stubborn, I'll let you know what it means to wish for death." Chapter 141. Guo Zifei, Bai Xintian, and Nalan Kuan looked as if Lin Feng was already in their grasp. Each of them had a cold sneer on their faces. In their eyes, Lin Feng was already a turtle in a jar. Although they weren't a match for Lin Feng individually, the three of them believed that the gap between them and Lin Feng wasn't that big. Once they joined forces, killing Lin Feng would be a piece of cake. It was because of this that the three of them looked down on Lin Feng so much. Facing the three's threats, Lin Feng sneered, "You dare to say that you'll make my life worse than death? What a joke. Quickly disappear from my sight before I have the urge to kill you." When the three of them heard Lin Feng, they were stupefied. Immediately after, they all looked at Lin Feng with disdain. Was this brat scared out of his wits? Now that he was surrounded by his brothers, his life was at stake. He actually dared to say such words? Bai Xintian sneered, "This brat won't cry until he sees the coffin. To avoid any more trouble, let's make our move." Guo Zifei and Nalan Kuan also had the same idea and nodded their heads. At this time, Nalan Kuan said, "Haha, you two, let me experience this brat's methods. Who knows, the three of us might be using a sledgehammer to kill a chicken." Nalan Kuan had never fought with Lin Feng before. Nalan Kuan was a genius in the Azure Dragon Institute, so he was naturally proud and arrogant. Moreover, he had always been in a competitive relationship with Guo Zifei. Now that the Blood Dragon gang wanted to fill an elder's position, it was a choice between him and Guo Zifei. Both of them had supporters behind them, and both sides had been arguing for a long time. If he defeated Lin Feng, wouldn't that mean that he was stronger than Guo Zifei? When this news reached the Blood Dragon gang's upper echelons, they would know what to choose. It could be said that although Nalan Kuan and Guo Zifei had temporarily joined forces, they each had their own ulterior motives. Guo Zifei seemed to have guessed Nalan Kuan's thoughts. He couldn't help but coldly snort. He coldly watched everything that happened. He understood Nalan Kuan's strength. He didn't believe that he couldn't defeat Lin Feng in a one-on-one fight, but Nalan Kuan could. Guo Zifei didn't remind Nalan Kuan. He was happy to see Nalan Kuan suffer. That brat is quite strange. Brother Nalan, be careful. Bai Xintian, who was standing at the side, reminded him. Don't worry, I'm confident in dealing with him, Nalan Kuan said proudly. Immediately after, Nalan Kuan looked at Lin Feng and sneered, Little boy, today I'll show you my high-level profound level fist technique, the 13 fists of the heavenly wolf. Boom. As Nalan Kuan's voice faded, he attacked Lin Feng. Nalan Kuan clenched his hands into the shape of wolf claws and rushed towards Lin Feng. His hands grasped in the void, and cold light soared into the sky. That sharp cold light seemed to be able to tear the void apart in an instant. Lin Feng's eyebrows raised slightly. This Nalan Kuan's strength was indeed extraordinary. Feeling the power of Nalan Kuan's attack, Lin Feng guessed that Nalan Kuan's strength should be around the 6th heavenly layer of the Martial Master realm. No wonder this person was a famous genius in the Azure Dragon Institute. This level of cultivation was indeed terrifying. However, against Lin Feng, the difference was too great. Although Lin Feng's cultivation was only at the 4th heavenly layer of the martial master realm, his strength was comparable to a 7th heavenly layer martial master. More importantly, the reason why Lin Feng was so terrifying was because he had cultivated several terrifying secret techniques. Great Heaven Covering Hand, Soul Sword, Xiongqi Treasure Technique. Any one of them could be said to be heaven-defying. A character like Nailan Kuren wasn't qualified to make Lin Feng use these top-secret techniques. Facing Nailan Kuren's attack, Lin Feng didn't even use any of his moves. It was just a simple punch towards Nailan Kuren. Bang! Both sides collided fiercely. Lin Feng stood on the same spot without moving an inch, whereas Nailan Kuren was sent flying like a kite with its string cut. Wah! In midair, Nailan Kuren spat out a mouthful of blood. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How can I not be able to withstand even one move? Nailan Kuren roared in disbelief. He was a genius. Even in a place like the Azure Dragon Institute where geniuses gathered, he, Nailan Kuren, was a famous genius, a dragon among men. But now, he was defeated in one move. This kind of disparity was hard for Nailan Kuren to accept. Guizifei, who was watching from the side, seemed to have predicted this outcome. At this moment, there was a gloating expression on his face. Bai Xintian, on the other hand, was frowning. Lin Feng's strength seemed to have exceeded Bai Xuantian's expectations. Nothing is impossible, Lin Feng said nonchalantly. Skywolf Avatar. Nailan Kuren roared. He moved once again. Swish, 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 skywolves appeared one after another. The Skywolf Avatar turned into 13 skywolves. Every single one of them was lifelike. This was the power of the Skywolf 13 Fists. It could create 13 Skywolf avatars to attack the enemy. Any one of these 13 avatars could be switched to the original. The moment the enemy was paralyzed, the avatar could instantly kill them. Brat, I want you dead. The 13 Skywolf avatars all laughed maliciously. They split into 13 different directions and pounced on Lin Feng. What a good Skywolf avatar. Nailan Kuren has already cultivated the Skywolf 13 Fists to major completion. Bai Xintian exclaimed in shock. Seeing Nailan Kuren's Skywolf avatar, Guizifei's expression changed slightly. The 13 Skywolf avatars pounced on Huang Xiaolong. Lin Feng closed his eyes. His eyes couldn't tell which of the 13 avatars was real. However, Lin Feng's ears could hear the subtle changes in the airflow. After all, the avatars were different from the original body. When they moved quickly, the air convection was also different. When Lin Feng practiced the Great Covering the Sky hand, he had a deep understanding of the flow of the wind. He pricked up his ears. Behind. Suddenly, Lin Feng opened his eyes and punched behind him. Fast. The speed was too fast. It was so fast that Nailan Kuren couldn't switch between the avatars and the original body. Bang! Accompanied by an earth-shattering sound, Lin Feng and Nailan Kuren collided again. Crack, crack. The sound of bones breaking was heard. Nailan Kuren was directly sent flying by Lin Feng's punch. All the avatars dissipated, and Nailan Kuren was also sent back to his original body by Lin Feng's punch. His entire arm had been broken. Then, he slammed into a big tree. That tyrannical power directly broke the big tree. Nailan Kuren fell to the ground in a sorry state and spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood. My arm. Nailan Kuren crawled up from the ground with a hideous smile on his face. Lin Feng, you little bastard. I'm going to kill you today. Then, Nailan Kuren took out a battle sword and held it with one hand. This boy is ferocious. Let's fight him together. Guizifei and Bai Xintian looked extremely gloomy. They knew that Lin Feng's cultivation was extraordinary, but they had never thought that Lin Feng would be so strong. He could completely crush Guizifei. Guizifei and Bai Xintian also attacked. Together with Nailan Kuren, they split into 3 directions and surrounded Lin Feng. They believed that even if Lin Feng's fighting strength was amazing, Lin Feng would be distracted by the 3 of them. At that time, they could take the opportunity to kill Lin Feng. Chapter 142. Cut off one of my arms. Later, I'll cut off your flesh piece by piece. said Na Lan Kuan with a hideous smile. Na Lan Kuan was injured, but he hated Lin Feng to the core. That was what motivated him to fight. Among the three of them, Na Lan Kuan hated Lin Feng the most. After all, he had suffered a great loss because of Lin Feng. Hee, are you still thinking about killing me? I'm afraid that the three of you don't have the ability to do so, said Lin Feng with a cold smile. Boy, I have to say that we underestimated your strength. However, you will definitely die today because I have a flying sword, said Guazifei with a hideous smile. As soon as he finished speaking, swoosh. Then, there was a flash of light and a flying sword was summoned by Guazifei. The flying sword was the size of a palm and looked very crude. Compared to Morong Shui's flying sword, this flying sword was like a street vendor's. Obviously, this was a low-level flying sword. But even if it was a low-level flying sword, it was still a flying sword. A flying sword could kill people from a distance. After seeing the flying sword, Lin Feng's face became slightly more serious. When facing a flying sword, one had to be extremely careful because if one was careless, the flying sword could successfully launch a sneak attack. It would be too late for regrets. No wonder the three of them were so arrogant and unscrupulous. It turned out that they had treasures like flying swords. Bai Xuantian's weapon was a long spear. Guazifei was the one controlling the flying sword. As for Bai Xintian and Nalan Kuan, they complemented each other. Their combined might was definitely terrifying. Attack! Shouted Guazifei coldly. Swoosh! At that moment, Bai Xintian and Na Lan Kuan moved. The two of them, one on the left and one on the right, rushed towards Lin Feng. One of them used the Wild Dragon Sword technique. Sword lights intertwined and sword chi crisscrossed. Each sword chi was more ferocious than the last. The other person displayed the splitting wind spear technique, and a spear thrust out. Layers upon layers of spear light, and the power of the spear shadows was astonishing, wanting to penetrate Lin Feng's body. Bai Xintian and Nalan Kuan were experts as well. They had joined forces to attack Huang Xiaolong, but it was clear that they were only here to restrain Lin Feng. The real killing move was Guazifei's flying sword. As long as these two people restrained Lin Feng, Guazifei would release his flying sword and kill Lin Feng from a distance, taking his head. Die, brat. The two of them laughed sinisterly as they charged over. Lin Feng sneered in the face of Nalan Kuan and Bai Xuantian's attacks. He brandished his battle sword and slashed towards them. Clang clang. Two consecutive sounds of violent collisions were heard. The weapons of the three clashed together. This is the time. Guazifei sneered and quickly attacked. Whoosh! The palm-sized flying sword in his hand turned into a cold light and slashed towards Lin Feng. The speed of the flying sword was too fast. Moreover, Lin Feng and Guazifei were only a dozen meters apart. They were so close to each other. Guazifei's flying sword was not something that could be dodged by speed alone. The flying sword was like a meteor from outer space. It instantly shot towards Lin Feng and was about to kill him. It's done. Nalan Kuan, Guazifei, and Bai Xuantian's eyes suddenly lit up. It was as if they could see Lin Feng being killed by the flying sword. However, at this moment, they saw Lin Feng attack. Devouring martial spirit, spatial magnetic field. A deep voice came from Lin Feng's throat. Boom. With Lin Feng as the center, a distorted black hole appeared within a radius of 10 meters. The black hole emitted an aura that made one's soul tremble. The black hole seemed to be able to devour the heavens. Guazifei's flying sword was instantly devoured by Lin Feng's devouring martial spirit. Originally, Guazifei and the other two thought that Lin Feng would definitely die this time. However, who would have thought that, after the flying sword was devoured by the devouring martial spirit, it was as if it had fallen into a swamp and could not move an inch. This is... Horrified expressions appeared on the faces of the three. Guazifei's reaction was extremely fast. He felt that something was wrong and hurriedly urged his mind to recall the flying sword. However, it was too late. Lin Feng stepped forward and held the black dragon sword with both hands. He slashed towards Guazifei's flying sword. The terrifying power instantly exploded. Clang! A loud sound shook the sky. Lin Feng's sword slashed fiercely onto Guazifei's flying sword. Crack! Guo Zifei's flying sword was cut into two by Lin Feng's powerful sword. How could this be? My flying sword. After the flying sword that was connected to Guo Zifei's mind was cut into two, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face became extremely pale. This flying sword was very valuable. Even though Guo Zifei had an extraordinary background, he had paid a high price to get this flying sword. This flying sword was Guo Zifei's lifeblood. However, this flying sword was now cut into two by Lin Feng. We can't fight against this guy. Let's go. Nalan Kuan and Bai Xuantian's faces were also very pale. They turned around and wanted to escape. The three of them had come with great confidence and momentum, but now they were scared out of their wits. Lin Feng's combat strength had indeed frightened the three of them. Although Nalan Kuan, Bai Xuantian, and Guo Zifei wanted to cut Lin Feng into pieces, none of them dared to stay and continue fighting with Lin Feng. They all quickly ran away. Lin Feng sneered, "I told you to get lost, but you didn't. It's too late for you to leave now." Lin Feng was like the god of death. He jumped out and his devouring martial spirit directly swallowed Nalan Kuan and Bai Xuantian. We'll kill you. Nalan Kuan and Bai Xuantian saw that they couldn't escape, so they became ruthless. They sneered and rushed towards Lin Feng with weapons in their hands. However, Lin Feng had used his devouring martial spirit, which was one of his trump cards. How could the two of them fight against him? The devouring martial spirit directly enveloped Nalan Kuan and Bai Xuantian. They were shocked to find that they couldn't move at all. At that moment, Lin Feng's sword was already moving towards him. No! The two of them screamed in fear. Lin Feng attacked coldly. He slashed twice and cut off Nalan Kuan and Bai Xuantian's heads. Run! 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 Guo Zifei quickly ran away. His face was extremely pale. He was scared out of his wits. Guo Zifei was extremely regretful. Why had he provoked Lin Feng? If he hadn't provoked him, he wouldn't have ended up like this. However, it was too late to regret now. Lin Feng was chasing after him. "Spare my life. If you spare my life, I'll be a slave for the rest of my life," begged Guo Zifei. "It's too late." Lin Feng looked indifferent. He waved his sword and slashed down. Slash. Guo Zifei's head flew up into the sky, and his headless body fell to the ground. He had died tragically. Chapter 143. I've collected another 3 senior student tokens. Lin Feng took the 3 senior student tokens. This was already the 4th senior student token. He put all the belongings of Guo Zifei and the other 2 into his storage ring and threw their corpses into the lake. The demonic python that smelled blood would definitely rush out and devour them. Even if the academy investigated, they would only think that the 3 of them were careless and were attacked by the demonic python. Lin Feng did not stop and quickly left. One day later, Lin Feng stood under a waterfall and tempered his body. This waterfall had an extremely strong impact. Ordinary people would not be able to stand under the waterfall at all. Lin Feng was swept away by the water from the waterfall again and again. However, he stood up again and again and returned to the waterfall. At the beginning, Lin Feng could only reduce his strength for half an hour. Later on, he was able to last for 3 hours. After tempering under the waterfall, Lin Feng felt that he was more familiar with his control over his body. His muscles were more familiar. With a slight movement, he seemed to be able to erupt with strength that was far greater than before. Of course, tempering one's body was not something that could be completed overnight. It required perseverance. Lin Feng was about to leave when more than 10 spirit monkeys climbed up the rock wall along the vines. With a whoosh, they jumped into the waterfall and disappeared without a trace. What's going on? Why did the spirit monkeys disappear? Could it be that there's another world behind the waterfall? Lin Feng was astonished. He climbed up the vines and arrived at the place where the spirit monkeys disappeared. After observing for a while, Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. He saw a cave behind the waterfall. Lin Feng directly jumped onto the platform outside the cave and entered it. Just as Lin Feng entered the cave, a young cultivator quickly flew towards the mountain range where Lin Feng was. This young cultivator was actually Zhang Jihuang, who had a conflict with Lin Feng previously. The Zhang family that Zhang Jihuang belonged to was a first-class family in the Jinwu country. They had a huge influence and numerous experts. This time, Zhang Jihuang was one of the most promising candidates to join the genius camp. I have to get to that cave as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll arouse the suspicions of the others. Zhang Jihuang raised his eyebrows slightly. He couldn't help but speed up. Zhang Jihuang had formed a team, but his team was resting. Zhang Jihuang took advantage of the time when the team was resting to look for something. That place was originally a sealed space. 3 months ago, Zhang Jihuang's older brother Zhang Zhitian discovered that sealed space, but he didn't open it. Zhang Zhitian estimated that the sealed space would open in another 3 to 4 months. Coincidentally, Zhang Jihuang was about to take part in the new disciple assessment. A month ago, when Zhang Zhitian left the Azure Dragon Institute to train, he wrote a letter to Zhang Jihuang asking him to explore that sealed space during the new disciple assessment. This cave was the mysterious cave that Lin Feng had entered. The waterfall is just ahead. Behind the waterfall is that sealed space. The seal should have disappeared by now. I wonder if there are any treasures inside. Zhang Jihuang's face revealed an excited expression. His speed also increased a bit, and he quickly rushed towards the waterfall. Inside the cave, this cave's environment was quite elegant. There was a small bridge over flowing water, and vines grew all over. The air was fresh and cool. More than a dozen spirit monkeys were playing in the cave. When they saw Lin Feng enter, they started squeaking, baring their teeth at Lin Feng, as if trying to scare him away. Shua! Lin Feng pulled out the black dragon sword. The black dragon sword exuded an oppressive cold air. The dozen or so spirit monkeys were frightened and quickly ran out of the cave, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Although these spirit monkeys had some intelligence, they didn't have much strength. They could only scare people. Lin Feng put away the black dragon sword. He carefully observed the cave. The cave's environment was elegant. In the depths of the cave, there were some stone tables and chairs. It seemed that someone had lived here before. On a stone bed, Lin Feng saw a corpse sitting cross-legged. It was a corpse wearing a long golden robe. Perhaps it had been dead for too long. Only a skeleton was left of the corpse. What surprised Lin Feng was that the bones of the dead person were actually golden. How strange. Golden bones. Why would a person's bones turn golden after they died? Could it be that they weren't humans? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. Soon, Lin Feng's gaze was attracted by the crystal ball in the hands of the dead person. Senior, this junior didn't mean to offend you. If there's any disrespect, please forgive me. Lin Feng cupped his fists and said apologetically. Then, he took the crystal ball in his hands. Screech! At this moment, a sharp, ear-piercing cry came from the crystal ball. Then, a golden light shot up into the sky. Lin Feng saw that there seemed to be a divine bird imprisoned in the crystal ball. It was a golden divine bird with sword-like feathers. The divine bird flapped its wings gently, as if it could cross endless rivers and seas. An ancient, boundless aura was emitted from the crystal ball. At the same time, one of the 9 clones that Lin Feng had refined, the golden-winged Rock King's clone, actually emitted a violent fluctuation. It was like an extreme desire. The golden-winged Rock King's clone has mutated. Lin Feng was shocked. His gaze immediately turned to the crystal ball in his hands. He couldn't help but exclaim, "This is the golden-winged Rock King's indestructible primordial spirit?" After the 9 Saint Emperors of the primordial demons fell, their primordial spirits were not destroyed and left behind the 9 Emperor clones technique. Those who came after could cultivate this secret technique and condense the 9 Emperor primordial spirits to create the 9 Emperor clones. Lin Feng had already condensed the 9 Emperor clones a long time ago, but he had never found the 9 Emperor primordial spirits to activate them. Now, he had finally found the golden-winged Rock King's indestructible primordial spirit. This meant that Lin Feng could activate the golden-winged Rock King's clone and use its abilities. This made Lin Feng wild with joy. His divine will entered the crystal ball. Boom! Suddenly, Lin Feng had the feeling that the world in front of him was spinning. In the next instant, he seemed to have arrived in another world. This was an ancient world. This world was filled with an ancient and weathered aura. In the distance, A black cloud covered the sky and the sun as it rapidly flew over. That's? Lin Feng suddenly cried out in shock. Actually, it wasn't a black cloud. It was a bird. That bird was too big. When it spread its wings, it covered the sky. The rock's wings spread 3,000 li. The deep voice resounded in his mind. That bird was actually the legendary golden-winged great rock. According to the legends, the golden-winged rock could spread its wings for 3,000 miles. With a flap of its wings, it could fly for 58,000 miles. Lin Feng looked at the golden-winged rock in shock. He suddenly felt as if he had transformed into the golden-winged rock and was soaring in the sky. It really is the golden-winged rock king's primordial spirit. Lin Feng's divine will retreated from the crystal ball, his face full of joy. Whoosh! At this moment, a figure dashed into the cave. Zhang Jihuang also entered the cave. Zhang Jihuang was surprised to see Lin Feng. Then, he saw the crystal ball in Lin Feng's hand. Zhang Jihuang's face showed deep greed. I really didn't expect to meet you here. Do you remember that I said that if you met me during the test, I would crush you like a bug? Chapter 144. Zhang Jihuang. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. He did not expect to meet Zhang Jihuang here. Moreover, this guy was as arrogant as ever. Lin Feng did not know where this guy got his arrogance from. Was it because he came from a big family? Or was it because he had absolute confidence in his own strength? Regardless of the reason, Lin Feng only sneered and looked at this person with disdain. What? Even your eyes are shining. Do you want this crystal ball? Let me tell you. This crystal ball has the immemorial sage Emperor Golden-Winged Rock's indestructible original spirit sealed inside. Its value is unimaginable. Do you want it? Lin Feng waved the crystal ball in his hand provocatively. After hearing the words, immemorial sage Emperor Golden-Winged Rock's indestructible original spirit, Zhang Jihuang's eyes shone brightly. His greedy eyes looked at the crystal ball in Lin Feng's hand. Screech! The Golden-Winged Rock, which was formed from the undying original soul of the Golden-Winged Rock sealed within the crystal ball, let out a sharp, ear-piercing cry. An ancient and boundless aura filled the cave. Zhang Jihuang's eyes could no longer move away from the crystal ball. He grinned maliciously and said, "This trip was really worth it. You're going to die, and the crystal ball will be taken away by me." "I'm afraid you don't have that ability." Lin Feng sneered and put the crystal ball into his storage ring. "I didn't expect that a lowly cultivator from a low-level family like you would have such a treasure like a storage ring. I'm a little surprised." Zhang Jihuang stepped forward and walked towards Lin Feng. His face had a sinister expression. Clearly, he was confident that he could defeat Lin Feng. Swoosh! Zhang Jihuang moved. He was very fast, like a shadow rushing towards Lin Feng. He punched towards Lin Feng's chest. So fast, Lin Feng was slightly surprised, but his reaction was not slow at all. He quickly punched towards Zhang Jihuang. Bang! The two of them fiercely collided. Lin Feng only felt a terrifying force sweep through his body, shaking him back. 7th Heavenly Layer Martial Master. Lin Feng looked at Zhang Jihuang in shock. He did not expect this person to be a cultivator of this level. A moment before, even though Zhang Jihuang hadn't used his full strength, Lin Feng could still feel how monstrous his strength was. A 7th Heavenly Layer Martial Master had a strength of more than 32 million jin. At that moment, Lin Feng's physical strength was 10,240,000 jin. When he used his 3 absorbing spirits, his physical strength could reach 30,720,000 jin. There was still a slight difference between this power and Zhang Jihuang's, but the difference wasn't huge. In the collision just now, Lin Feng did not use his 3 devouring martial spirits and only displayed 10,740,000 jin of strength. Therefore, it was normal for him to suffer a little in the collision with Zhang Jihuang. Of course, Zhang Jihuang did not use his full strength. This person was very proud. From the beginning to the end, he did not treat Lin Feng as an existence on the same level as himself. Therefore, when he attacked Lin Feng, he only used a portion of his strength. "Is that all you've got? I really overestimated you. It seems that what I said before was wrong. Pinching you to death is not like crushing a bug, but like crushing an ant. Zhang Jihuang sneered as he looked at Lin Feng with a look of disdain. He did not put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. In Zhang Jihuang's eyes, Lin Feng was many levels lower than him. It's a little too early to boast. Lin Feng sneered. He used his 3 devouring martial spirits and completely activated his strongest strength. When the 3 devouring spirits were activated, Lin Feng's strength instantly rose to the level of 30,720,000 jin, which had already reached the strength of a cultivator of the 7th heavenly layer. Then, Lin Feng quickly rushed towards Zhang Jihuang. You still dare to take the initiative to attack. You're simply courting death. 3 moves. Within 3 moves, I will take your life. Zhang Jihuang sneered. He took a step forward and punched towards Lin Feng. In his opinion, dealing with Lin Feng was simply too easy. He did not even use any martial arts techniques. Qiong Qi's precious technique. Starting move. Lin Feng's expression was cold as he attacked. The Qiong Qi's precious technique was the Beast Emperor's precious technique that Lin Feng had obtained. This was the first time that Lin Feng had used it against an enemy. The starting move was only the basic attack of the Qiong Qi's precious technique. The Qiong Qi's precious technique was truly terrifying. After the starting move, it was the true attack technique. Of course, even if it was only the starting move of the Qiong Qi's precious technique, it was still terrifying. Behind Lin Feng, the figure of a ferocious beast vaguely appeared. Its body was huge, its face was green, and its fangs were ferocious and terrifying. Bang! Lin Feng and Zhang Jihuang collided. Lin Feng did not move in the slightest from this attack. Zhang Jihuang, on the other hand, was forced to retreat. His face was pale as he cried out in disbelief. This is impossible. For Zhang Jihuang, this was indeed difficult for him to accept. After all, Zhang Jihuang had never put Lin Feng in his eyes before. But now, he was being forced to retreat by a person he looked down on. How could the arrogant Zhang Jihuang accept this? After Lin Feng's attack, he did not stop and quickly chased after Zhang Jihuang. He understood the principle of beating a drowning dog. Right now, it was the best time to follow up with a victorious pursuit and kill Zhang Jihuang. And at this moment, after using the Qiong Qi's precious technique's starting move, the true Qiong Qi's precious technique had already been brewed. Roar! The beast's roar shook the heavens and the earth. An incomparably huge divine beast Qiong Qi condensed. That Qiong Qi was nearly 100 meters tall, and its huge body emitted a stifling aura. The beast Emperor Qiong Qi roared, and its roar shook the 9 heavens as it charged towards Zhang Jihuang. Ah, what kind of secret technique is this? Zhang Jihuang also felt the terror of Lin Feng's Beast Emperor Precious technique, and his face immediately revealed an incomparably terrified expression. Lin Feng was also shocked. This Beast Emperor Precious technique was truly terrifying. It had actually condensed such a terrifying beast, as if the ancient divine beast Qiong Qi had been revived. Zhang Jihuang wanted to dodge this attack, but he discovered that no matter how he dodged, he could not dodge the Beast Emperor Qiong Qi's attack. He could only face it head-on. Zhang Jihuang clenched his teeth. At this moment of life and death, he also went all out and used an Earth-class martial art, Heavenly Dragon Seal. Roar! A heavenly dragon condensed, and that heavenly dragon was also 100 meters tall. It bared its fangs and brandished its claws, and its roar shook the heavens. This Zhang Jihuang was indeed worthy of being born in the top family of the real martial country. He actually cultivated an Earth-class martial art. The Heavenly Dragon Seal's power seemed to be much stronger than Lin Feng's collapsing fist, and it was obviously a higher-level Earth-class martial art. However, compared to Lin Feng's Qiong Qi's precious technique, it was too far away. The Qiong Qi raised its claws and slapped the Heavenly Dragon, and the Heavenly Dragon instantly disappeared. Then, the Beast Emperor Qiong Qi's huge claws fiercely slapped Zhang Jihuang's body. A loud bang was heard. Zhang Jihuang was directly sent flying by the Beast Emperor Qiong Qi's claw. His body exploded in mid-air, splitting into pieces. He died on the spot. Chapter 145. In the mysterious cave, Lin Feng sat cross-legged, holding a crystal ball. He wanted the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's indestructible primordial spirit. Then, he would activate the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's power. Unity of mind, protect soul, golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor. Reappear in the world. Lin Feng started contacting the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone. Lin Feng could faintly sense a strong calling. It was the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's indestructible primordial spirit. The golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's indestructible primordial spirit was like rain after a long drought. It wanted to drink to its heart's content. Shua. Lin Feng communicated with the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone. Behind Lin Feng, an illusory golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone appeared. The golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone emitted a resonant cry. Then, it flew into the crystal ball. In the crystal ball, golden light soared to the sky. The golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's indestructible primordial spirit started fusing with the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's indestructible primordial spirit. Boom! An ancient chi spread in the air. The golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's indestructible primordial spirit flew out of the crystal ball. The golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone turned into numerous talisman scripts and poured into Lin Feng's body. At that moment, Lin Feng suddenly felt the world spin. It was as if he was in a boundless, mysterious world. He had turned into a golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor. With a flap of his wings, he could fly 50,000 miles away. What's that? Lin Feng was stupefied. His thoughts moved. Shua, shua, a pair of 3-meter-long golden wings appeared behind Lin Feng's back. The golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's wings. As expected, the golden-winged Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone was activated. Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. In the next moment, Lin Feng flapped his wings and turned into a bolt of golden lightning, flying freely in the air. Haha, I can fly now, shouted Lin Feng's Great Peng Holy Emperor's clone. If a cultivator wanted to fly, they had to cultivate to the yin-yang realm. However, even a yin-yang realm cultivator would be far slower than Lin Feng, who had the golden-winged rock wings. According to the records of the 9 Emperors chart, the power of the golden-winged rock avatar was divided into 3 stages. The first stage was called Golden Wings. They could condense golden energy wings and use them to soar in the 9 heavens. This realm was the ability that Lin Feng currently possessed. The second stage was called Void Travel. This stage was even more terrifying. It was said that once one successfully cultivated it, they would possess unfathomable divine might. With a flap of his wings, he could travel through the void freely. In a single breath, he could travel a distance of 58,000 li. The third stage was called Wings of the World. This realm would allow one to condense a pair of even more terrifying wings. With a flap of the wings, one would be able to travel back and forth between different worlds. Every different world was more than billions of miles away from each other. With a flap of his wings, he could actually travel between different worlds. This ability was simply abnormal. Of course, if he wanted to reach the second and third stages, Lin Feng still had to find more of the golden-winged rock sage emperor's indestructible primordial spirit and devour it before he could break through again. Whoosh! Lin Feng quickly flew above the mountain forest like a golden bolt of lightning. He finally landed on the peak of a 3,000-meter-tall mountain. Lin Feng's face lit up. What a powerful pair of golden wings. With these golden wings, I can also fly like those yin-yang realm experts. Lin Feng retracted the golden wings on his back. The golden wings were a very heaven-defying technique, but Lin Feng did not plan on revealing it. Such a shocking technique could be used as a trump card. Lin Feng rushed down. He immediately felt his body become as light as a swallow. Lin Feng's ears perked up. He could even hear 2 ants fighting a few hundred meters away. He looked into the distance and saw a small bug flapping its wings as it flew past him from 500 meters away. With a single leap, he was able to cover a distance of 50 to 60 meters. Perception, speed, hearing. All his abilities had increased by leaps and bounds after cultivating the golden wings. Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. Haha, the golden wings are really heaven-defying. Lin Feng's face lit up. Lin Feng rushed into the depths of the mountain forest. When he passed by a valley, he heard the sound of a battle not far away. Oh, someone's fighting? Lin Feng frowned and quickly rushed towards the battle. Very quickly, Lin Feng arrived at the forest where the battle was taking place. There were 2 people in the forest, 2 males and 1 female. At that moment, the 2 male students were attacking the female student. What surprised Lin Feng was that the female student was actually Dongfang Xinyao. Dongfang Xinyao was the genius girl who had participated in the exam with Lin Feng. She was one of the top 3 geniuses in the Tianfeng Academy. Dongfang Xinyao's temperament was cold. She had chosen to participate in the exam alone. It was not out of Lin Feng's expectations. At that moment, the 2 people attacking Dongfang Xinyao were a pair of twin brothers. They were exceptionally strong. When they joined forces, they were simply watertight. Dongfang Xinyao was also at a disadvantage. She was very passive. It was only a matter of time before she was defeated. This Dongfang Xinyao should be at the 6th heavenly layer of the martial master layer. Lin Feng looked at Dongfang Xinyao in shock. This realm really surprised Lin Feng. Among the 3,000 new students, Dongfang Xinyao was definitely one of the top students. Dongfang Xinyao was much more terrifying than he had imagined. However, she had encountered 2 strong seniors today, so it wasn't surprising that she was at a disadvantage. There's actually someone as strong as you among the new students. We brothers have long broken through to the 6th heavenly layer of the martial master layer. Even after attacking together for so long, we still haven't defeated you. We're really surprised, one of the brothers said in a gloomy voice. Then retreat. Why must both sides suffer? Dongfang Xinyao's cold voice sounded. You think us seniors are participating in the new student exam just for the new student order? Wrong, very wrong. The Azure Dragon Institute doesn't mind us snatching your treasures. If you give us the storage ring on your finger, we'll leave immediately. The other person's greedy gaze fell on the storage ring on Dongfang Xinyao's finger. In his opinion, a genius like Dongfang Xinyao must have a lot of treasures in her hands. This was a great opportunity to make a fortune. Don't even think about it. Dongfang Xinyao coldly harumphed. Then don't blame us for being impolite. The 2 seniors sneered, one on the left and one on the right, attacking Dongfang Xinyao together. Under these 2 people's fierce attacks, Dongfang Xinyao gradually lost her footing. Swoosh! Right at this time, a figure dashed out from the forest. Another new student. When the 2 seniors saw Lin Feng, their brows raised. It seemed like they didn't want to bother with Lin Feng, instead focusing on dealing with Dongfang Xinyao. One of the seniors coldly said, Brat, you're very lucky because we don't have the time to deal with you. Take advantage of the time and scram. It was obvious that he had underestimated the new student in front of him. This senior student was worthy of being at the 6th firmament of the martial master realm. His reaction was extremely fast. When Lin Feng's attack arrived, he promptly changed his move and executed a swimming dragon fist towards Lin Feng. This swimming dragon fist was a middle profound level fist skill. Its power was also quite strong. However, compared to Lin Feng's earth level martial arts, it was like a firefly competing with the moon. The difference was too great. Bang! The 2 sides fiercely collided. Lin Feng didn't move at all, but the senior student was forced back a dozen steps by Lin Feng's fist. How is this possible? The senior student exclaimed in disbelief. Nothing is impossible, said Lin Feng while smiling coldly. He then quickly moved towards that senior. Punch after punch, he completely suppressed the senior student. On the other side, Dongfang Xinyao saw that Lin Feng had unexpectedly suppressed the senior student as soon as he made his move. She revealed a trace of astonishment, but quickly returned to normal. She also used all her strength to attack the other senior student. Dongfang Xinyao also had strength that far exceeded her level. When she faced a senior student alone, she could easily suppress him. Damn it! How did we meet 2 abnormal people? The 2 seniors' faces were very ugly. In previous years, there might not have been 2 abnormal new students like Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao, but this year, the 2 of them had unexpectedly met 2 terrifying opponents. The 2 seniors were already thinking of retreating, but Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao didn't intend to let them go. Lin Feng seized the opportunity and punched the senior student who was fighting against him. That senior student's pure qi was dispersed by Lin Feng's punch. He was unable to condense his pure qi and was unable to continue fighting. Dongfang Xinyao also seized the opportunity to get rid of her opponent. The faces of the two seniors who had been defeated were extremely ugly. Lin Feng walked up and directly took the senior student's badge. These seniors didn't have any treasures on them because before the exam, they had basically left all their valuable treasures in the school. You can leave. Dongfang Xinyao took the other senior's badge and said. The two seniors' faces were gloomy as they left. Lin Feng, thank you. Dongfang Xinyao said. Even though she was thanking him, she still had an ice-cold look on her face. Lin Feng said, we can be considered as old friends. No need to be so polite. After a pause, Lin Feng said, we're going to enter the depths of the Crouching Dragon Ridge. The danger in the depths of the Crouching Dragon Ridge will increase exponentially. Are you interested in joining forces with me? Dongfang Xinyao pursed her lips as if she was thinking, but in the end, she nodded. Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao formed a small team. The two of them entered the depths of the Crouching Dragon Ridge and defeated many seniors in succession. They even defeated a small team of 4 seniors. This matter caused a certain amount of commotion among the seniors because that team of seniors was formed by 4 sixth celestial layer experts of the inner courtyard. Naturally, they felt that it was inconceivable that they had been defeated by 2 freshmen. Some of the stronger seniors' teams were very interested in Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao's team. They wanted to encircle and annihilate the two of them, but they were unable to find any traces of Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao. On the 6th day, they passed by a valley. In the depths of the valley, there was a scorching qi emitting from it. Lin Feng said in surprise, don't you feel the waves of heat coming from the valley? Could it be that there's lava here? Dongfang Xinyao said, let's go take a look inside the valley. Lin Feng nodded. He and Dongfang Xinyao flew towards the valley. Creak, creak, creak. When they entered the valley, they saw a huge lava lake. Beside the lava lake, there were a dozen fiery red spirit trees. Beside the fiery red spirit trees, there were many flame-like fire monkeys frolicking. Lin Feng said in surprise, fire monkeys are spiritual beasts of the heavens and earth. They're born with spiritual intelligence. According to the classic of mountains and seas, wherever they appear, there will be a fire monkey tree. The fruit of the tree is called a fire monkey fruit. It's a strange fruit of the heavens and earth. Eating it can greatly increase one's cultivation. Chapter 147. Even with Dongfang Xinyao's cold personality, she was overjoyed when she saw the fire monkey fruit. She said, I've heard of the fire monkey fruit before, but I didn't expect to see it here. Lin Feng said, since we've seen the fire monkey fruit here, then this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us. As long as we can get the fire monkey fruit, our strength will greatly increase. Dongfang Xinyao said, look, there are dozens of fire monkey fruits waiting over there. It won't be easy to get the fire monkey fruit. Indeed, with just Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao's strength, it would be very difficult to get the fire monkey fruit. They needed to think of another way. We need some help, Lin Feng said. Dongfang Xinyao pursed her lips. She didn't like to be with too many people, but if they wanted to get the fire monkey fruit, they would need help. After a pause, Lin Feng said, wait here. I'll go outside and see if I can find some new students. I think they should be quite interested in this place. Okay, be careful. Dongfang Xinyao nodded and couldn't help but remind him. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. Dongfang Xinyao, this cold woman, was also concerned about others? He smiled and said, you be careful too. Immediately after, Lin Feng flew away and quickly disappeared without a trace. This was a slightly tired team consisting of a total of 5 people, 4 men and 1 woman. If Lin Feng was here, he would definitely recognize 3 people in the team. Zhang Pingfan was one of them. The other 2 were Huang Lei and Huang Ling, brother and sister. Their group originally had a total of 15 people, but not long ago, they encountered a group of senior students. After a fierce battle, the remaining people were defeated and no longer had the strength to fight, so they naturally had to withdraw from the test this time. The 5 of them escaped in a sorry state. At this moment, they finally stopped to rest. A young man in blue clenched his teeth and said, "These seniors are too despicable. They actually dared to ambush us. If we hadn't been ambushed by them, it would have been hard to say who would have won this battle." "I agree with Zhang Qian," said the other young man in purple. "We've lost too much in this battle." Huang Lei said, "Our experience in the forest is still lacking compared to these seniors. Otherwise, we would have discovered them a long time ago. This time, we've suffered heavy losses, and we've learned our lesson. It's a pity that we only have 5 people left. It won't be easy for the 5 of us to pass through the depths of Crouching Dragon Ridge." Huang Linger also sighed and said, "Yes, the teams inside are even stronger, but we can only take one step at a time." Zhang Pingfan replied, "If we can replenish some of our members, then there's still hope. However, after fighting for so long, there probably aren't many new students left." Sha, sha, sha. Suddenly, there was a slight rustling sound in the forest. These people could be considered as geniuses of the younger generation. They all pricked up their ears and heard the sound. "Be careful," warned Huang Lei. The 5 of them arched their backs as if they were facing a great enemy. They just had to wait for a senior, or a ferocious beast, to appear and attack immediately. Whoosh! A silhouette jumped out and appeared in front of them. "It's a new student," shouted Zhang Qian immediately when he saw Lin Feng. He looked much more relaxed. "Brother Lin Feng, it's you?" Zhang Pingfan was extremely excited when he saw Lin Feng. "Lin Feng, it's Lin Feng." Huang Lei and Huang Linger were also pleasantly surprised. They had invited Lin Feng to join their team before, but Lin Feng had politely declined. They had been very regretful, but now that they had met again, it was fate. "Pingfan, Brother Huang, it's you." When Lin Feng saw Zhang Pingfan, Huang Lei and the others, he smiled. He had been searching for a long time, but unfortunately, he had only found a few groups of senior students. He hadn't found any new students. Lin Feng obviously didn't expect them to help him fight against the fire monkeys. If a group of senior students found him, the first thing they would do would be to kill him. He had been searching for new students for a long time, and now he had finally found a group of people he knew. "Brother Lin, I'm so happy to see you here," said Huang Lei smiling. Said Huang Ling Air, "Brother Lin, let me introduce you. This is Zhang Qian, this is Shui Yuan, and this is Lin Feng, whom I mentioned to you before." "Brother Zhang, Brother Shui, Brother Lin." Lin Feng, Zhang Qian, and Shui Yuan greeted each other. Said Lin Feng, "I'm very happy to have met you all here. Coincidentally, I found a precious place. There are many treasures inside. Would you be interested in joining hands with me to explore it?" When Huang Lei and the others heard Lin Feng, their eyes lit up. Huang Lei said, "Brother Lin, if you have something to say, just say it. We'll go through fire and water without hesitation." Said Lin Feng, "I found a fire valley, and there are fire monkeys guarding it. I also saw a fire monkey tree growing in the depths of the valley." "What? A fire monkey tree?" "I've heard that the fire monkey fruit from a fire monkey tree can greatly increase a cultivator's cultivation," said Zhang Pingfan excitedly. Lin Feng nodded. "Indeed, the fire monkey fruit can increase everyone's strength, but that place is guarded by dozens of fire monkeys. If we want to get the fruit, we'll need to work together. There's no time to lose. Let's hurry over, lest something unexpected happens," said the others excitedly. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Everybody, follow me." He led the way. An hour later, the 6 of them arrived at the fire valley. When Dongfang Xian Yao saw that it was Lin Feng, she came out of hiding. Lin Feng introduced them, but Dongfang Xian Yao still looked cold. She just nodded at Huang Lei and the others as a greeting. Lin Feng smiled wryly. That woman was really cold. It really is a fire monkey tree. Those red fruits must be the fire monkey fruit, right? Zhang Qian clenched his fist excitedly. The fire monkey fruit could directly increase a cultivator's strength. To a cultivator, the fire monkey fruit was naturally a priceless treasure. "Great! If we eat the fire monkey fruit, we'll become much stronger," said Huang Linger. Lin Feng said, "Those fire monkeys aren't easy to deal with. Let's do this. A few of us will lead the fire monkeys away. 2 of us will go and pick the fire monkey fruit." Let's do this. The 5 of us will lead the fire monkeys away. Brother Lin and Dongfang Xi and Yao can take advantage of this opportunity to enter the valley and take the fire monkey fruit," said Huang Lei. Chapter 148. Okay, but these fire monkeys are very powerful. They move quickly and their damage is very high. So, you must be careful, Lin Feng reminded. Don't worry, we will be careful. Huang Lei and the others nodded. Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao hid behind a huge rock. Huang Lei, Zhang Pingfan, and the others rushed into the valley. Fire monkeys had a bad temper. This kind of fierce beast couldn't stand being provoked. Once provoked, the fire monkey would definitely explode in anger. This was the best way to deal with fire. Just like these fire monkeys, Lin Feng and the others were very clear about their weaknesses. After Huang Lei and the others reached the depths of the valley, they picked up stones and threw them at the fire monkeys. Bang, bang, bang. After a few stones were thrown, the fire monkeys were immediately enraged. They let out angry roars and quickly pounced on Huang Lei and the others. Let's go. Huang Lei and the others didn't stop. They turned and flew out. When they left, they were afraid that the fire monkeys would return. As they ran, they continued to throw stones at the fire monkeys and provoke them. The fire monkeys had a bad temper. After being provoked again and again, they were very angry. They roared and chased after Huang Lei and the others. A group of fire monkeys was successfully lured out of the valley by Huang Lei and the others. Whoosh, whoosh, Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao quickly rushed out of their hiding place and went straight to the fire monkey tree in the depths of the valley. As soon as they entered, 6 or 7 fire monkeys jumped down from the fire monkey tree. They bared their teeth and pounced towards Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao. These fire monkeys were left in the nest to guard the fire monkey tree. These animals are quite smart. Seeing the 4 fire monkeys pouncing towards him, he waved his fist and attacked. These fire monkeys were extremely fast. They easily dodged Lin Feng's fist and circled behind Lin Feng. They stretched out their sharp claws towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng was shocked. The speed of these fire monkeys was really fast. If an ordinary person was entangled by 3 or 4 fire monkeys, it wouldn't be easy for them to escape. However, now that Lin Feng had mastered the golden wings, his speed was very fast. His speed was even faster than these fire monkeys that were known for their speed. He quickly moved to the left and dodged the fire monkey's claw. Then, Lin Feng punched a fire monkey, sending it flying more than 10 meters away. With a loud bang, the fire monkey's body hit the cliff and fell to the ground. It no longer had the strength to fight. When the other 3 fire monkeys saw that Lin Feng had injured one of their companions, they went crazy and rushed towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng relied on his advantage in speed to dodge the attacks of the 3 fire monkeys. Then, he punched out and injured the second fire monkey. Lin Feng relied on his advantage in speed. After dealing with the second fire monkey, he continued to deal with the 3rd and 4th fire monkeys. The 4 fire monkeys all fell to the ground and couldn't move. Lin Feng didn't take their lives. He only made them lose their ability to move. On the other side, Dongfang Xinyao wasn't like Lin Feng, who easily dealt with the 4 fire monkeys. Dongfang Xinyao was fighting with the 3 fire monkeys that surrounded her and was quite anxious. The main reason was that these fire monkeys were too fast and could always dodge Dongfang Xinyao's attacks. Lin Feng rushed towards Dongfang Xinyao, wanting to help Dongfang Xinyao get rid of a few fire monkeys. At this time, Dongfang Xinyao shouted, "Don't worry about me, go pick the fire monkey fruit now. I'm worried that the other fire monkeys will hear the cries of these fire monkeys and quickly rush back. At that time, we won't have a chance." Lin Feng nodded. He turned around and walked towards the fire monkey trees. He arrived in front of the fire monkey trees and started to pick the fire monkey fruits. After he had picked 30 fruits, the sound of the fire monkey roaring filled the air outside of the valley. It sounded like it was going to explode at any moment. Obviously, the fire monkeys had returned. Lin Feng hastily ran outside. If he was surrounded by the fire monkeys, he would be in trouble. "Let's go," Lin Feng shouted. Dongfang Xinyao didn't dare to hesitate. After forcing the 3 fire monkeys to retreat, she quickly rushed out of the valley with Lin Feng. Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao had just run out of the valley when they saw dozens of fire monkeys roaring in the distance. The two of them didn't dare to stop. They quickly ran away. The fire monkeys chased after them, but in the end, they couldn't catch up with Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao. The fire monkeys were extremely unwilling to give up and returned to the valley. Lin Feng and Dongfang Xinyao let out a long breath. Let's go find Huang Lei and the others. Once we find them, we'll divide the fire monkey fruits. Lin Feng said. Dongfang Xinyao nodded and went to find Huang Lei and the others with Lin Feng. After an hour, the two sides met again. Huang Lei, Zhang Pingfan and the others excitedly asked, Brother Lin, did you succeed? Lin Feng nodded and said, we picked a total of 35 fire monkey fruits, 5 for each of us. Lin Feng distributed the fire monkey fruits to everyone. Those who obtained the fire monkey fruit were all wild with joy. Huang Linger said, we can't stay here for long, let's leave quickly. We need a quiet place to refine the fire monkey fruits. Right, didn't we pass by a hidden valley? We can go there and refine the fire monkey fruits. Zhang Pingfan said. Huang Lei and the others' eyes lit up and said, that's a good place. Brother Lin, Sister Dongfang Xinyao, please come with us. The group went to the place Zhang Pingfan had mentioned. When they arrived, Lin Feng discovered that it was indeed a good place. The valley was located halfway up a mountain, and there were dense vines growing there. Even if one passed by here, it wouldn't be easy to find the valley. Lin Feng and the others entered the valley. The interior of the valley was about 200 square meters, and it was relatively dry. Everyone found a place to cultivate. Lin Feng sat down cross-legged and took out 5 fire monkey fruits. Without hesitation, he ate them. Then, Lin Feng began to circulate the archaic dragonesque elephant technique. Under the refinement of the technique, the fire monkey fruit's medicinal energy was absorbed by Lin Feng's body. The fire monkey fruit was a fire-attributed spirit medicine. When Lin Feng absorbed the energy of the fire monkey fruit, Lin Feng felt his body heat up. However, he could feel the changes in his strength. As the fire monkey fruit's medicinal energy increased, he discovered that his strength was also increasing. Boom! Finally, an earth-shattering strength exploded in Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's strength began to increase crazily. Soon, it broke through 20 million gene and stopped at 20,480,000 gene. I broke through to the 5th heavenly layer. Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. He looked around and saw that the others were still cultivating. Lin Feng continued to sit cross-legged and circulate the archaic dragonesque elephant technique, slowly adapting to the new strength in his body. Chapter 149. 6 hours later, everyone finished their cultivation one after another. After coming out of seclusion, everyone's face revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. Lin Feng had accumulated the most energy and was the most difficult to break through. Even Lin Feng had broken through to the next level. What about the others? It seems like everyone has benefited, said Lin Feng with a smile.
Yes.
Dongfang Xinyao and the others nodded. Said Huang Lei, thank you so much, Brother Lin. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have had this opportunity. Brother Huang, you don't have to be so polite. Without your help, it wouldn't have been so easy to get those fire monkey fruits, said Lin Feng while cupping his fist. Said Huang Ling Brother Lin, Sister Dongfang, we're going to go deeper into the Crouching Dragon Mountain Range. There are many strong cultivators there. How about we form a team? That way, we'll have a higher chance of passing. Lin Feng thought for a moment and felt that it made sense. He looked at Dongfang Xinyao, wondering what she was thinking. Dongfang Xinyao nodded. All right, let's go together, said Zhang Pingfan with a smile. With Brother Lin and Sister Dongfang Xinyao, our team's strength will increase greatly. This time, we might be able to reach the depths of the Crouching Dragon Mountain Range. The group continued walking towards the depths of the Crouching Dragon Mountain Range. Not long after, the sound of an intense battle could be heard in the forest ahead. There's someone there. Lin Feng pointed in front of them. The group of people carefully moved forward and hid in the forest to observe. In the forest, 2 groups of people were engaged in a fierce battle. Obviously, it was a battle between the new students and the old students. The old students had more than 10 people, and the new students had more than 20 people. It was a ratio of 1 to 2. However, even though it was a ratio of 1 to 2, the freshman side still showed signs of defeat at this very moment. There were only 9 people left who could fight. Most of them had lost their ability to fight. As for the older students, only 2 of them had lost the ability to fight. The rest of the older students were still full of vigor. On the other hand, the few new students who still had the ability to fight were all in a sorry state. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. It's Yin Xian's team, Huang Linger said. The leader of the new student group was a young man with a tall and sturdy figure. This person was Yin Xian, a famous expert among the new students. He had formed his own group and was also one of the most favored groups. But now, Yin Xian's group had encountered a group of older students. Obviously, they had suffered a huge blow. Shui Yuan exclaimed, "Look, that senior is called Wei Li, an existence on the mountain river list. His strength is extremely terrifying." Everyone looked over and saw a slender senior student who looked to be around 20 years old. This person was the Wei Li that Shui Yuan had mentioned. On the Azure Dragon Institute's mountain river list, which one of them wasn't famous? Each one was more monstrous than the other, more terrifying than the other. They were all top geniuses. And when the older students on the mountain river list personally formed their own teams, they could sweep through the freshman teams, sweeping everything before them. The battle between the two sides was rather intense. Although Yin Xian's side also had experts, compared to the seniors, there was still a big gap. They were gradually unable to hold on. Mad Tiger Fist. Yin Xian roared as he sent a senior flying with a punch. The senior student slammed heavily into the stone wall, his face pale, no longer having the strength to fight. Yin Xian's tall and sturdy figure contained a terrifying explosive power. And Wei Li, who had not made a move all this time, raised his eyebrows slightly. He looked at Yin Xian and sneered, "You're Yin Xian, right? Among the new students, you can be considered a top expert. Even I have heard of your name. Unfortunately, you met me. Today, your group will meet its end." As his words fell, Wei Li took a step forward, his palm striking out at Yin Xian. Yin Xian bellowed and also attacked Wei Li bang. Accompanied by a deafening sound, the two of them collided fiercely. The tyrannical force of the collision formed a terrifying shockwave that swept out. Many of the surrounding mountain rocks and trees were instantly torn to pieces. Thump, 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 thump. Yin Xian staggered back 4 steps before he could stop. It was obvious that he was at a disadvantage in the first collision. "Your strength is indeed strong, but against me, you're still a little lacking." Wei Li sneered and took a step forward, attacking Yin Xian again. Whether it was Yin Xian or Yin Xian's group, they were all in trouble. They were about to be defeated. "Let's leave quickly. If Wei Li and the others find us, we'll be in trouble," Zhang Qian whispered. Lin Feng said, "Isn't this a good opportunity to defeat a seniors group?" "Are you crazy?" Zhang Qian stared at Lin Feng, dumbstruck. "If you want to fight, follow me. If you don't want to, leave." Lin Feng took a step forward. Then, Dongfang Xinyao followed Lin Feng without hesitation. Zhang Pingfan and Huang Shi's brother and sister also followed them. Zhang Qian and Shui Yuan glanced at each other and hesitated for a long time. In the end, they clenched their teeth and followed. At this moment, the battle in the valley had reached its climax. The people in Yin Xian's team could not hold on any longer, including Yin Xian himself. He was attacked by Wei Li's storm-like attacks. After more than 300 rounds, Yin Xian felt that the strength in his body was not enough, which made his expression change slightly. "It's time to end this.